Welcome to the Undisputed podcast. I'm your host, Jenny Taft. This podcast is the full show from today's episode of Undisputed from start to finish. They've got a busy slate, so Skip, Shannon, let's get to it.
Welcome to Undisputed. We are live from LA. I'm Jenny Taft here with Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharpe. Good morning, guys.
Good morning. We got a showdown at Staples tonight. We got LeBron and AD and Westbrook against those G League Rockets for the second time in 3 nights. Man, the Lakers play a tough schedule. How did LeBron arrange this? I don't know.
Can I ask you a question? Are any other team going to play the Rockets?
The G Leaguers?
Yeah.
I don't know.
What about the Nets? Are they going to play?
I think the Lakers get to play them like 17 times this year.
I think they play them like 4 times.
The G Leaguers? I don't know if they're going to take offense to that.
They're trying to minimize. Go to do great things tonight.
Oh, great.
Okay, so that is tonight. But we start the show by discussing what happened last night. Despite never clicking in all cylinders, the Chiefs held off the Giants to win 20-17 last night to improve to 4-4 on the year. Patrick Mahomes still doesn't look quite right, going from top 3 in QBR every season since winning MVP in 2018 to now ranking 12th in the league following a QBR of 7-19 in his past 2 games. I had to check those numbers. And after the game, Mahomes said, quote, "I think we're going to snap out of it and find a way to start executing. And when we do, we will be a tough offense to stop." But this is the question. Shannon, what is wrong right now, Patrick Mahomes?
Right now, Skip, he's pressing a little bit, and things are not going well. If you look at the first drive, Skip, they script it. You go right down the field because you have an idea what the defense is going to do. You script the first 15 plays. You hear that a lot, and a lot of teams have success. They methodically go right down the field, and then you're right on cue. You know, turnovers, we watch the Cowboys. We watch Tavon Diggs, Skip, get turnover after turnover week after week. And then we see Patrick Mahomes seemingly turn the ball over week after week. I mean, how unlucky must you be? I thought Josh Gordon could have caught the ball. It seems like
you're kidding.
It seems like, well, you just said Baker Mayfield, the passes that Jarvis could have caught.
That jump bullet?
But let me ask you a question. But how unlucky must you get a jump bullet hits your guy in the helmet and pops up in there?
I know, but it goes right through Josh Gordon's hands because I don't think Shannon Sharpe could have caught that ball.
I think I would have. I mean, if somebody throwing something on the field, I'm thinking
he jumps over 2 defenders and throws a rocket right through your hands and then hits McKinnon right in the head.
Yeah, so how unlucky must you be for the ball to hit McKinnon? How many times have you seen a ball hit your player in the head, pops up in the air, and it goes for an interception?
I don't know. It seems to happen about 50-50. When it pops up in the air in the end zone, there are so many defenders.
Yes, but how many times is it hitting your player in the head? Yes, when the ball comes up like that, Skip, and it hangs up in there that long, absolutely. But I think the thing is, Skip, also, Andy and Eric Bieniemy are not doing him a great favor. Skip, they run the ball down the field. 6 straight, they hand the ball off. Run it down the field. 4 touchdowns. Come back out the next possession, and they throw 4 passes, and they have to punt the football. That's the problem. And the defense are saying, since Tampa lined up in shell coverage with the 2 deep safeties, every defense they've seen since has been that. Now, what teams try to do normally, Skip, we're going to try to disguise it. We're going to make it look like cover 2, and we're going to play single high safety. We're going to make it look like 2, we're going to play quarters, or we're going to play 5, we're going to play 6.
Yeah.
No. Not when they see them. Skip, the safeties are lined up deep. It's cover 2. We dare you to run it. Skip, on the last play that Mahomes got sacked, they got 6-man box with a nickel corner. And they tried to pass it. Skip, we understand that the Chiefs are a vertical team. But, Skip, when you're in the 5-yard line, where the hell are you going to go? You going to run verticals up in the stands?
Yep.
So the windows are really small. Run the football, Andy. Run the football, EB.
It's not who he is and has never been.
Well, until you run the football.
I agree.
And force them to drop that safety down, it's going to be a grind. Because everybody's playing you this way. They've seen Tampa have success doing it like that. And your offensive line, Skip, teams are still able to generate pressure even though with 4. So now it makes your job even harder because they forcing Mahomes one way or another, and we try to, let's force him to his left. Let's make him try to throw off balance. He got a good throw in last night where he sidearmed that one to Tyreek. But, Skip, when you press like they're pressing right now, Mahomes' offense, Kelsey got frustrated, had a few drops, had a fumble. That's what it just piles up. It adds on. The mere fact that the defense had to be on the field last night with Daniel Jones with a chance to either tie the game or win the game lets you know just how bad the offense is struggling in Kansas City.
Okay, so this young man has been your favorite quarterback this side of Aaron Rodgers. He has been my homeboy on the show since day one.
Yep.
Although we had him in here that first year on the show before his draft.
He got drafted.
And neither of us really knew that's going to happen, right?
So we look at it like his voice, like, he sounded like 8, 9 years old. He'll be a quarterback.
8 or 9 years old, and I'd watched him a lot at Texas Tech, but I didn't see this coming. I didn't see an early MVP.
No.
I watched him against my man Baker Mayfield in one of the all-time, it may have been the all-time shootout in Lubbock, and it was just off the charts. And Mahomes' numbers in that game, I forget what he threw.
Well, he threw over 700. He had over 800 total yards.
But my team, my Oklahoma Sooners, did win the game ultimately. But I didn't see this coming, and to Andy Reid's credit, he did. But to me, and I'm blaming Andy as much or more than I'm blaming Patrick for this, Patrick Mahomes has now become a parody of himself, a caricature. And it would be comical to me if it weren't becoming so sad, because he's a good kid. He's done good things for the league. He's represented himself well, but he is trying harder and harder to live up to the hype. And the hype is what his coach loved, because his coach went and found him in the draft and traded up to snag him in the draft and said to the NFL world, watch this. The coach loves to be the smartest man in the room. The coach is beloved by the media across the board. He's always been beloved because he's always been so accessible and such a good man, and a good-hearted man. And everybody said, didn't he coach your brother?
Yeah, he's offensive coordinator with my brother in Green Bay.
That's right. Okay. So he's beloved around the league, and yet he gets a pass for passing so much because it hurt him in Philadelphia, and he became such a player's coach, and they got soft and they got out of shape, and he's almost too nice for his own good. But he also has an ego as big as he is, because it's an ego that needs to constantly tell you, I am a revolutionary offensive genius. So what did we see right out of the box last night when they got it 2nd and goal at the 5 with 8:30 left in the first quarter? Wait, come on. Stop it.
I said, go kill him for this.
Stop it. Okay, now you put Kelsey in the Wildcat, and you snap it straight to Kelsey, and he goes, behind his back to Patrick, who finds nobody open. It was just a bust of a play. It didn't fool anybody. And it's hot doggy. It's show offy. It's like, just stop it, Andy. We know you got lots of bells and lots of whistles, and every once in a while they'll pull off some red zone play where you say, okay, that's pretty clever.
Right.
That wasn't very clever to me, and it put Patrick in a bad spot. He had nowhere to throw, nowhere to go.
Because, Skip, look, when the formation like this, even though he did all that, they're going to run what we call Q89, which is a sprint option. If you go back and run this play, Skip, watch what Bradbury does.
Let's see.
Run this play again. Bradbury knows what's coming. Now, he's at the bottom of the screen. Watch how he jumps outside of Tyreek.
Bradbury, one of the best corners in football. He just said, nope, I'm staying. Yep. Okay.
So you do all that, but I know what you're still running. All that raspberry, Skip, at the end of the day, it's still cake. You put whipped cream, you put strawberry, you put ice cream. It's still cake. So you did all that. You still going to run sprint option, and I'm going to jump outside of Tyreek and take it away.
Okay, so to your point, everybody has figured out if we just play 2 deep safeties and try to keep him in the pocket and force him try to play safe wide, where you have somebody who can keep him honest. Because if you just let him run with the ball, he can run with the ball.
Take off.
He's not a speed demon, but he's a big kid. He's bigger than you think he is, and he accelerates well for his size. Because what do you think he weighs? 235?
I would say 235,
Okay, and he can gash you with his legs, as he did last year at Tampa. Remember, he had a huge running play at the end that won the game, clinched the game for
him. Remember in the playoffs, Skip, that year won the Super Bowl, he got Houston and he got Tennessee.
With big runs. So you can't let him loose, and they never let him loose last night. He had a couple of little runs, but not any big ones.
Right.
Okay, so now let's go back to what just happened. So you just wasted that down the second goal.
That's a giveaway.
All right, so now it's 3rd and goal at the 5. And Patrick rolls out, and we just saw the play once. Let's see it one more time. But this is the jump pass. It's just a little out of control. And to your point, he is pressing. He's trying to force the action, and he gets loose a little bit, but then he tries a jump pass, and it's into high traffic. And it's tough. Maybe Josh Gordon snags it, but he hadn't played much football.
Exactly, and it's right there on top of him, Skip. And the thing is, when a guy jumps, Skip, what we call flashing, because his hands jump, you're looking at, like, okay, and now all of a sudden, and that's what happened to Josh. And like you said, he hadn't played a whole lot.
So what have I told you from the start? I never backed off this. This kid is riding the magic carpet, but he is playing on borrowed time, because in this league, all the jump passes and the left-handed passes and the no-look passes, they can only take you so far. Because the greatest quarterback ever, and I'm not trying to uplift Brady any more than he needs to be uplifted, but he doesn't do any of that. He just throws it from the pocket. He doesn't run it all, and there are different ways to, so to speak, skin the cat.
Right.
But the best way, the safest way, the one that will endure, the one that has won 7 Super Bowls is you just slice them and dice them from the pocket.
Right.
You speed read them, and you find the open man, and you hit him with the catchable ball. And you don't need to throw it left-handed. You don't need to throw it behind your back or between your legs or sidearm or no look. You just pick them to pieces. And Patrick at times has gone through stretches where he'll just stand in the pocket and destroy you.
Right.
But he loves to destroy you by throwing over your head.
Right.
And if the two safeties they're playing 30 yards off the line of scrimmage, and they're just saying Tyreek can't run by us.
We're not gonna let you
because we'll let him get a running start, but we're fast enough that he's not going to get behind us.
Right.
And we went late in the game last night, and Patrick was 0 for 8 on passes of 20-plus yards.
Right.
And I'll get to in a minute the one that went for 24, and we'll see how that happened. But the point is, now we get back to the play in question that you brought up. There's the sidearm throw to Tyreek. This is 11:09 of the second quarter. It's 1st and 10 at the Kansas City 43. Well, now it's Patrick trying to be Patrick, and he rolls the wrong way. And this is a hellacious athletic throw. And you say, nobody can do that except Patrick Mahomes. Okay? But if you keep trying, this one worked.
Yeah.
And yet it was crazy what you're trying to force it through a tight window.
Yes.
And you got it to Tyreek, and it went for a grand total of 11 yards. And it got you a first down, and it got you a lot of oohs and a lot of ahs and a lot of drop jaws around the country. Yeah. Only Patrick can do that.
I'm sure they were talking about it on the telecast.
They were. And, yeah, only Patrick can do that. But if you keep trying to do that, it will hurt you more than it will help you, because you have to win conventionally over time in this league, because the defenses are just too good.
But what has happened, Skip, is that because his routine throws aren't there, because he normally would be able to get Hardman. He would always be able to get Tyreek on a deep throw. Now the windows are compressed, are condensed, so he's going to have to change arm angles just to try to fit the ball in the windows, because there's 7 guys dropped.
I got it.
Because they don't even care. We dare you to run, and even if you do have success running, we know you won't stick with it, because that's not how you want to win.
Okay.
Coaches would rather win their way, Skip.
That is
Let me
correct.
take this back. They would rather lose their way than win some other way.
I agree with that.
Andy can run the football, Skip. They were running, getting 4 yards a clip. And he's like, nah, come on, let's start throwing it again.
It doesn't do anything to enhance Andy's legacy to run the football. It doesn't do anything for Patrick's psyche to take the check down, take the check down, take the check. They're daring him to just toss it to the back. And a number of times he tossed it to the back.
He did, and got good yardage.
And here's a key stat this year for Patrick Mahomes. His yards per attempt are a career low 7.3, because the 2 deep safeties are forcing him.
Yes.
There's nobody out there. And they're doubling Kelsey. So they're playing 2 deep safety, and they're saying you can't have Kelsey. Because what did the Bucs do in the Super Bowl? They put Levante on him, but he had help through the Super Bowl. They just said, no, he's not going to wear us out.
Right. A lot of times, Skip, what they're doing is what we call, and I got this a lot of coverage, they Skip, you play a zone, but you play one man underneath. And so it's that I got man, but if I beat him, I'm still going to be running through somebody else's zone.
You are.
So how do I beat that? But Kelsey's going to have to understand and I noticed some things he did last night, Skip.
Yeah.
He's playing too big. If you're a boxer, you never see a boxer stand like this. He stands like this. So what Kelsey needs to do, instead of allowing the DB to get both hands on him, he needs to pick a side, pick a shoulder, get skinny, as we call. So take a shoulder, left or the right.
Okay.
Have enough confidence, even if if I want to run an out-breaking route, Skip, I had enough confidence that I could release inside, do what I needed to do at the top of my route, and still get to where I needed to be. But when you give a guy this, Skip, he's letting he's letting these guys get both hands in his chest.
Okay.
Well, you're going to lose every time.
And what has happened happened over the years, Kelce has become his security blanket.
Yes.
When in
Why would take it
doubt,
away?
he just flings it up to 87.
Right.
And it doesn't really matter how accurate the pass is because 87 can really go get it.
Yes.
Until now, when he's just being taken out of the play. So, Patrick, last night, he threw 18 balls to Tyreek 18 times, and 12 of them were caught for a grand total of 94.
Right.
It wasn't 12 for 220 like against the Bucs, right?
Exactly.
It was 12 for 94. Well, you can live, you know, you can survive
because a lot of it is catch and run. As long as it's not 50, 60 yards down the field, you're good with Tyreek doing that.
So Kelce last night gets only 7 targets and catches 4 for a grand total of 27. That means you'll stay in the game.
Right.
And so a Giants team with little to no offense itself is hanging in the game because look what they have. They have no Saquon. Galladay's hurt and got hurt during the game where Sterling Shepard and Dante Pettis and then even Tony got hurt late in the game. He had a hand injury.
Sterling Shepard hurt his quad. He left the game.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So all of a sudden you're down to nobody. Evan Ingram, you know, like you don't have much left. And I got to tell you this. Last night, Patrick was very lucky that the opposing quarterback was Daniel Jones.
Oh, yeah.
Because if it's somebody else, I don't think you're going to lose that.
They lose that game.
You know, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because you get a pick in the end zone, Skip, and what does Daniel Jones do? He comes right back and throws and hits 50 right in his chest.
Okay. All right. I got it. And it canceled. It just canceled. Here you come right back. Okay. So now let's look at the strip sack. So this is 9:39 left in the game. It's 3rd and 9 at the Giants 12. So this is a huge play. And Patrick gets he's trying to hold the ball, and he gets stripped, and he got a huge break because his lineman fell on it.
Right.
What if they don't? You have just blown, because at least you preserved a field goal, right?
Yes.
So you preserved your field goal just because you got a lucky bounce.
Right.
So that time you got a lucky bounce, right? And then what happened after that? We've got, let's see the next one. This is 4:29 left in the game. This becomes the winning drive, and Patrick throws an interception. He throws an interception, but
he knows it's offside.
I think he saw it, but I'm not sure he did. I'm not sure.
He saw it.
But it wasn't like he threw it 70 yards trying to go for broke. It was just a bad idea throw that got picked, and the Giants left end just jumped slightly. Slightly jumped the gun.
In a situation like that, you see how he hits the ball?
Yep.
If you're going to throw in his zone, this ball's got to go. It can't go with hitch. He hitches.
Yep.
Now, the guy he gives the guy an opportunity. That ball needs to be on his way before the the receiver is coming out of his break. That ball needs to be halfway there. Look, he's waiting on it.
Okay, I got it. So then he finally does hit Kelce the very next play, and there's some phantom face mask call. I don't know what it was.
It's because Kelce had the ball high and tight.
But there's
that's
no
not a face mask.
There's no grab of the mask.
No, there's not.
The grab is below of his hand.
Yeah, he got his hand because he got the ball high and tight.
Okay.
And his head turns. They think it's a face mask.
Okay, so he finally got an open Kelce underneath, and then they get 15 more to move it into scoring position, into field goal position. Yeah. And now we get to 3:27 left. We get to his longest, quote-unquote, completion of the night. If we could see this one to Mecole Hardman, that's a pass. It's that little touch pass, you know, like in the backfield. That qualified as Patrick's longest completion of the night, a little touch pass to Mecole that went for 24 yards. Well, it has come to this for Patrick Mahomes. Right. That's all you got, man. Right. Right. And the Giants are pretty good on defense, and they're well coached, and I give you that. But, man, this is Patrick as a shell of himself. Right. And then what is the play of the night for Patrick Mahomes? What did he get the most credit for? It has come to this for Patrick. It's this play. He decides, oh, I got nothing. I'm going to take the sack. When did you ever want Patrick to take the sack? And everybody's saying, he didn't do anything stupid. Right? He didn't fling it into the end zone and get it.
That's the box guy. Okay. Run the football.
Okay.
First of all, you should have run.
That's just a spy.
Yeah. But Skip, look at if you go back, look at this. Run the football. Where do you think you're going to throw it at? They got 7 guys in coverage.
But they are spying Patrick Mahomes because they know he can gash you with his legs. And they're just saying, I'm not going to let you out. We're going to come and get you. And to Patrick's credit, he's had such a long, hard struggle that he realized, I do have the field goal. Right. It will put us ahead. I will just fold up, protect the football, and take my medicine.
Yes.
Well, when has he ever taken his medicine? He's never had to take his medicine, right?
Well, hopefully that's a learning, because there have been times we've seen him skip in a situation like that. What did he try to do? Put the ball in his left hand and try to make a play.
That's what I'm saying. So, he didn't do anything wild. Usually, the Patrick Mahomes who's trying to live up to the hype that Andy Reid helped create would try to do something out of his mind.
Sunday notwithstanding, I think one of Tom Brady's greatest attributes is that early on he understands the complexion of the game, how the game is going to be played. You look at him against the Rams. He's like, you know what? This is not going to be a high-scoring game. I cannot put the ball in harm's way. He made that one interception in the Super Bowl. Yeah. He made that one mistake early, Skip, and from that point on, they started running. They started hitting Edelman. There was nothing really down the field until he hit Gronk. Yep. He understands that, you know what, in the Super Bowl against Kansas City, our defense is in control. I don't need to do anything crazy. If it's there, I'll take it. If not, hey, I'll throw it in the ground. I'll throw it over the head. I'll live to see another day.
Okay.
Look, and I don't really know what to make of Kansas City's defense. I just know this. They played Daniel Jones. Do I think they're as good as what they displayed last night? No, I do not. And I don't know what Daniel Sorensen, I don't know if he has a video. I don't know if he has a tape. But, Skip, there's no way he should be playing. Skip, on the touchdown to Evan Ingram, number 50 looks at him and does this. He said, we got him comboed. Stay outside. Skip, he's looking, and he gets beat outside. Why? How? Bruh. 50 looks at him and says, look, we got this. And he gets beat outside. Skip, look at this. And after 50 had just told him, say, bro, we got this. You and me and you. And I'll be damned if he don't get beat outside. He looking in the backfield. He has outside leverage. James Bradbury, so you ain't getting outside. You ain't running sprint option on me.
I got it. So one last play I got to show you, because we went back and forth about this. We even had Patrick on the show because he wanted to give me a little grief about it. But it was the Super Bowl play, and it's the 3rd and 15 play from the 35 in the fourth quarter. 7:13 left in the game. Okay. And remember, they're down 20-10, and he has a rusher in his face, and he just throws it up for grabs. He throws what I thought was a punt. Right. And I kept telling you, Tyreek had to come back, retreat, and fair catch this punt. And he got away with it. It's a crazy, wild throw when you're down 20-10 in the Super Bowl. Right. And if it gets intercepted, the game is over, because it's 7:13 left, you're down 10. It's virtually going to be over. Right. But that's the magic carpet he used to ride, where he would just fling whatever, wherever, and get away with it.
Well, you can run plays like that with single high safeties. But now but now you got 2 deep safety, Skip, and they prevent that. So what they're doing is says, look, we're not going to give you all this speed. We know you want to get vertical, but we're going to take Tyreek, we're going to take Hardman, all these guys that can run 4.3 or below. We're going to take those guys away, and we're going to make you nickel and dime. And what did they do, Skip? The first drive was what, like almost 7 minutes. We feel that if you keep putting this ball up in the air enough, we'll get a tip, we'll get a carom, and it'll be our day. And that's what happens. We're not going to give you the one chunk play. We're going to make you paper cutters down the field. And we believe that you'll make a mistake before you hit pay dirt. And it paid off for him last night.
Well, all I know is that in the end, this league will expose you for what you are. And Andy Reid's exotic creation of Mahomes boy, it's getting exposed. Because the league finally said, aha, we found out how to make you look average.
I don't know why they don't play Tampa like that, because Tom Brady's not going to go anywhere. Just play coverage and just put pressure on him.
No mercy. Von Miller said his emotions were, quote, raw when he found out the Broncos traded him to the Rams for 2 draft picks. The Super Bowl 50 MVP will join a loaded defense featuring all-pros and Aaron Donald and Jaylen Ramsey, not to mention the high-flying offense on the other side of the ball. And Shannon, I remember this yesterday. You said the Rams were the best team in the NFC. So does this make them prohibitive favorites?
Not prohibitive, but I still believe they're favorites, Skip, because the top-tier teams, you look at the Rams, you look at the Bucs, you look at the Cowboys, you look at the Packers, and you look at the Cardinals. All of them have sensational offenses. Now, all things being equal, if I said, Skip, if I'm going to give all these teams a choice, which do you think they prefer to be on the field? Have their defense on the field with a lead, or be down by 3 points with their offense to have the ball? I think they're going to take their offenses. I know the Cowboys say, give me Dak Prescott in this offense. Tom Terrific, who's been in this situation 1,000 times. And I think this is the case. Now, he's not the Von Miller that won Super Bowl MVP. He's not as twitchy. He's not as bendy. But if he can give you 70%.
He's not as durable.
Okay. Clearly. He missed last year, and he's already been missed a game this year. But if he can be 75% of what he was, alongside Aaron Donald, alongside Leonard Floyd on the line, with Jaylen Ramsey on the back end, I think they become, I would say, a 55% favorite, where I would have maybe 50, and then you go to the other teams. But I believe they would be 50% favorite. He still can get to the quarterback. This is going to be the first time in his NFL career where he doesn't walk on the field and the game plan is directly directed at him. They still have Aaron Donald.
They do.
And he's been getting doubled more and more. Leonard Floyd has started to feast on that. So now you got Floyd, you got AD, and you got Vaughn. If Vaughn can be just 70%, Skip, he doesn't. Because, first of all, it would be unfair. If Von Miller was the Von Miller of 2015 and he was joining Aaron Donald, Skip, it would be over. I would go ahead and say, you know what? I'm going to be in SoFi because I know what's going to happen. But I don't believe he's that same guy. But if he can just give you 70%, I think they'll be fine. Because the one thing Skip, they're going to be able to get a lead. And that's what these other teams pride themselves on. The Cowboys said, with that, we can get a lead, and we can turn Randy Gregory, we can turn our pass rushers loose. Tom says, look, we can get a lead, and we can let Sue and we can let Shaq Barrett and JPP, we can let them meet. Everybody has that same mentality. Get the lead, take the run element away from it, and now we're going to be able to pin our ears back. I like the move. Les Snead and Sean McVay, with the blessings of Stan Kroenke, who's the owner. Skip, they shove. It's like, look, Skip, this is my hand. I got 2 aces. I got $1 million and I know somebody big stack. I'm going all in, Skip.
All in.
They got no first now. They got no second. They got a third compensatory, no fourth. They gave up.
So in the 2022 draft, they have 1 pick in the first 4 rounds.
And you know what? As a matter of fact, they're giving their scouts the rest of the year off.
Okay. I would not want to be a scout for them.
What about scouting for free agents? Because he got nobody that we're going to really be able to draft, Skip. But I like it. I like their Skip. This is not the first time that they've gone for it. They're going to go for it. If they get close, and they believe they are, they says they're throwing caution to the wind. But it also tells me all this stuff, the cap, we can't go. Somehow, I understand that Stan Kroenke got a lot of money. But it's amazing how they find money when they want to, and Skip. Now, the thing is, the Cowboys, the Broncos are playing, $9 million of the $10.5 million left.
I couldn't believe that. They're paying almost all of it.
Basically what they paid for, they bought a second-round pick. Because basically what they got for Von Miller was a third-round pick. They're paying $9 million, so basically you spent $9 million on a second-round pick.
That's a pretty good deal, I would say. That's a
pretty good deal. And they might be getting some ammo for, there's a guy that's in Tech, Houston, that still, so...
Oh, I thought you were going to say the guy in Green Bay, maybe.
Well, hey, the guy in Green Bay might be available. The guy up in Seattle might be available.
Might be.
And the guy we know in Houston is available.
Okay, I'm going to first second your emotion about Les Snead, and if you want to throw in the coach and the owner and everybody else, I applaud. It is all-time, all-in. Never seen anything quite like it before, and it started with Jaylen, obviously, because they just said, we're going to go get him, and we're like, damn the consequences. Whatever it costs, we're going to go get Jaylen Ramsey because he's the best corner in football, and he's a dominator and a destroyer and a life changer. So you already had one in the middle of your line. Now you got one at corner, and now you got one who used to be in Vaughn. So the question I have about Vaughn is, every once in a while, we see one of these late career superstars have a rebirth, a late career rebirth, where they recapture their joy for football, where all of a sudden he's in a new environment, the scenery completely changes, it's a winning environment, and Denver is slowly but surely had become a losing environment. And all of a sudden you are completely revitalized. You're in LA, baby, and it's palm trees and it's eucalyptus smell, and all of a sudden you say, I feel so much fresher. I feel so much younger. I feel hotter.
It happened to a guy that used to play for you guys, DeMarcus Ware. Remember when people like he was, he can't, he's not worth what Jerry's gonna play him, and Jerry let him go, and DeMarcus Ware went to 2 or 3 Pro Bowls, helped the Broncos win a Super Bowl.
He did. Okay.
So maybe, and Vaughn he was a big DeMarcus Ware fan.
Okay, so I got all that. But I'm going to stand by what I said. I still believe the Bucs are going to win the NFC. Because I still say they have the best defense because they have the best defensive coordinator in Todd Bowles. He is all-time, all-time. I won't say he's the best in football because I'll still give Belichick a slight nod because he is the coordinator of that defense, and he is really good at the defensive side of the ball. And they are starting to percolate in New England on the defensive side.
Yes.
But what Todd Bowles did, bringing his defense to a boil late last year, it's all these same players, but they don't have Carlton Davis and they don't have Sean Murphy-Bunting. When they get their two corners back, I think they will start to take shape and take off again. And they got to get the two edge rushers flying again, but they kind of save themselves. They're older players, and they wait until the stretch run, and then here they come. So I'm not going to rule them out as having the best defense in the NFC and ultimately the best
That
team.
might be the case, Skip, but you know it's hard to maintain that level of dominance on the defensive side of the football.
After you've won it all.
After you won it all. I mean,
I got it.
We've never seen anything. Only the Chicago Bears, the 85, 86 was better than, if you could believe that, 86 was better than the 85 Bears, but the Bears won the Super Bowl that year, so they get all the credit.
Okay, and I'm not ruling my Cowboys out of this because of the one man you mentioned. Randy Gregory right now is slightly more valuable to me than what I've seen of Von Miller.
Oh, yeah. I'm not
Listen,
arguing that.
I told you before the year, Randy Gregory's going to have a breakout Pro Bowl season.
Right.
And all he has done over the last 5 weeks, 3 times, this is your favorite website, Pro Football Focus, but they pick an all-weekly, all-NFL team. This is the cream of the crop for the week. They grade all the tape and they say, you're the best at your position this week. 3 times in 5 weeks, Randy Gregory has made the first team, all-weekly team, as an edge rusher. Something's going on there.
Oh, yeah.
Well, he's breaking out, man. He's becoming a force. He's becoming almost unblockable off the edge.
Skip, why you think Jerry Jones waited 2.5 years for this man to get his life together?
I got it.
When you wait that kind of time, you know what you have. They've seen this guy. They watch these guys in practice, and that's why it's hard for me to be critical of a team when they have information that I don't have. When they like, why don't they just let him go? Because they've seen this man in practice. They've seen him give Tyron Smith fits in practice, who's one of the premier left tackles. You just don't walk away from that. We got nothing but time. We don't have to pay him, Skip. Let's let him get his life in order.
So the Cowboys took a second-round flyer on Randy Gregory.
Who had issues in college.
He had issues in college. They took a second-round flyer on Jaylen Smith, who had only injury issues, not the drug issues. And they said, we'll just see. And they got a Pro Bowl year out of Jaylen Smith. And then he just sort of hit the wall. And I don't know, I'm going to knock on wood for him that he finds himself in Green Bay. I don't know that it'll happen. But it took a long time for Randy Gregory to figure it out on and off the field. But so I'm going to knock on wood for him.
He had to figure it out on the field. He had to get his life together off the field.
I'm saying. But it seems like he's got some plan where it's working, where he has a support system. And here he comes. So I'll take him slightly over Von Miller right now. But I hear you because, look, the Rams are already first in sacks and number 1 in pressure percentage. So they're already pretty great. And if you can get anything out of Von, it's icing on that cake because all of a sudden, and to your point, he's going to get single blocked. It's just every time he's going to get single blocked. It's going to be a new life.
Exactly. And Skip, you got to realize Leonard Floyd is there because people in Chicago thought he was a bust. And look what he's done. Look what he's gone to a new place and boom. He's been a premier edge rusher for the outside linebacker position. So maybe you're right. Maybe Von has new life. He had a tumultuous offseason. He does have a new baby now. That seems to have brought him serenity.
I hope so.
I just hope he can get back to being the Von Miller. I don't know if he'll ever get back to 2015 because he was as good as we had at the edge rush position. But if he can be 70% of what he was with Aaron Donald and Leonard Floyd, and they don't have to hold up nearly as long.
All I know is what he did to Cam Newton in that Super Bowl, that was Lawrence Taylor stuff.
But he started off in the championship game against Tom.
Well, he did. He just couldn't block it.
Because he almost did the same play to Tom Brady, but Tom held on to
the ball. Okay, I got it. All right, now I get to the bottom line of this discussion. I do trust Tom Brady at quarterback, albeit given the pick 6 that ended the game virtually the other day. But I still trust him at quarterback at age 44. I trust Dak Prescott at quarterback whenever he returns to play quarterback for my Cowboys. I'm still not completely sold on Matthew Stafford. So when we're dealing with these 3 teams and their defenses, you can go back and forth about who's got the edge. I'll give the Rams the edge at this moment. And my Cowboys are playing incredible situational defense.
They get off the field on third down.
Well, and what they're doing is they held Kirk Cousins to 1 of 13, so they miss an early field goal, and then they make them punt.
Right.
And then they throw an interception, Cooper Rush, and they make them punt.
Yes.
And then strip sack of Cooper Rush, and I think, the ceiling's going to fall in, and they make him punt. Situational, clutch defense.
Yeah.
That's what my team's playing, but it's not in the same league with the Rams or the Bucs in overall talent.
Right.
But Michael Parsons is coming. He's coming so fast that, to me, it's beyond defensive rookie of the year. I think he's entered the defensive player of the year.
You think
Chase.
so?
I do.
Okay.
Well, he had 11 tackles the other day. He's just dominating. Okay, so now we're down to the newest quarterback acquisition of the Rams, Matthew Stafford.
Yes.
Like him personally a lot. Not sure about him because in Detroit, how many times did we see him fold when it was time? And you can't tell me he had nobody because he had Megatron.
He had Megatron, he did.
And I'm not sure. So far, so great because they're on a regular season roll and they're a very talented football team. And here we go. And when it's time to shine, will he make the throw to win the game? Because that's what it's going to come down to. Trust Dak, trust Brady. Not sure I trust Matt Stafford.
It's going to look, the rapport that he has and their receiving core. You go Cooper Kupp, you go Robert Woods, you go Van Jefferson.
I thought we were going Deshaun, and now he's on the outs.
Well, Van Jefferson has made Deshaun kind of look absolute.
He did.
Absolute because, Skip, if you look at it, their offense is really not big play, push the ball down the field. It's a lot of crossers. It's a lot of underneath things. And Deshaun has built his reputation on getting deep. He still can get vertical, Skip, but they don't run enough verticals to keep him happy. I think if he could get, maybe 20 snaps a game, but Skip, he's probably getting, 5, 8 snaps a game? And that's not enough for someone of his caliber. Said, you saw what I did against Tampa. I got 3 catches, went for $120.
I know.
And I could have had over 200 if he doesn't underthrow me.
Well, last time I saw, Coach McYay was running up the tunnel to congratulate him after he went deep, right? Yeah. And that was the last I've seen of Deshaun, right?
So I just think the thing is, Skip, right now, Stafford, the MVP, I have no idea. I mean, obviously, Brady is in the mix. Rodgers has bought himself back in the mix. Matthew Stafford is definitely in the mix.
He is, no doubt.
Definitely
so
in the
far,
mix.
so
And he's played unbelievable. The question is, at some point in time, Skip, no matter how good you are offensively or defensively, in the playoffs, it will come down. Can your offense or defense do what you believe it can do? When you need a first down, can your offense go get it?
Yep.
Or can it go get a score? And your defense, you mentioned, they're playing great situational football, getting teams off the field on third down.
Yep.
Can you, in a playoff game, when you need to get off the field, can you go do it? Because that's the true measure of greatness. Can you get done what you need to get done when you absolutely have to do it?
Got it. Here we go.
You believe the Cowboys can?
I do.
Okay.
Thanks to your man, Micah Parsons.
All right,
now my
all
man.
right. Well, this could be a busy day, or maybe it won't be a busy day. We'll have to wait and see because the NFL trade deadline is just hours away at this point, and it remains to be seen if the Browns will deal Odell Beckham Jr. The former Pro Bowl receiver is contributing less and appears a shell of himself when on the field. And an anonymous GM said they'd be very surprised if Cleveland found a way to move OBJ in a Yahoo Sports article that implied he's virtually untradeable at this point. So, Shannon, how surprised are you to hear this news?
I'm not surprised, but I don't think it's fair. Skip, it's not going well by no stretch of the imagination. It hasn't gone well for Cleveland. It has not gone well for Odell. But I think they just have chemistry issues. And sometimes, sometimes you don't realize how good you got something until you go somewhere else and you're like, well, damn, I had it pretty good in New York.
He did.
I had it pretty good in New York.
He was often the toast of that town, and that's some town.
Skip, look, I believe Odell has been open a lot of times in the game. From the games that I've watched, I've seen Odell be open. And either Baker overthrows him or he underthrows him. And he's getting frustrated and he starts to press. Now, Skip, your favorite website, your Bible, Football Bible, Pro Football Focus says Odell has 2 drops all year. I'm just saying, none last week. That's not what they said. I don't know if that's true or not, but I'm just going by what they say. I don't buy that Odell is untradeable because I believe everybody is tradable. The question is, Skip, what price are you asking? Do I believe they can get the price that they're going to be asking? They're probably going to be asking a first rounder. Probably maybe even a second rounder.
Well, that's absurd.
And there you have
I mean, nobody's even going to smell that.
Drop it down to a third or a fourth and watch Green Bay pick up the phone and call you right away.
You really think so?
Yeah, I really think so.
Would you wish that upon Aaron Rodgers?
I want Aaron Rodgers to have it.
Really?
Yeah, I sure do.
Because,
I wish that upon him.
Remember, Odell has deluded himself into believing he's better than Devontae Adams.
No, he
Well, he has. That's the problem.
No,
yes.
Stop saying that. And plus, Skip, you do realize he's only 28. So imagine.
He's about to be 29.
Okay.
I think he turns 29 on November 5th, so we're almost there.
Okay, 29, still under 30.
All right.
So now you got Devontae on one side that's going to pull the coverage, and you get Odell. Now you got a guy that's a marksman. Now you got the transcendent one. The word you use, transcendental.
Okay.
That's what Aaron Rodgers. Can you imagine Aaron Rodgers throwing to him? That ain't Baker Mayfield. I think I might be more accurate than Baker Mayfield right now.
And if Aaron doesn't throw it to him 12 times a game, he's going to pout and he's going to make waves. And he's still Odell on social media. He has power. He has impact. He has mystique. And it becomes more trouble than it's worth.
It ain't going to be no trouble in Green Bay. You won't be in any trouble.
Well, Green Bay ought to just hang on because I think Cleveland might be reduced to just cutting him. I'm serious.
They're not going to cut him.
By the end of this day, they might just say, we just can't do this anymore.
Then watch it free. Now watch 28 other teams jump up with both feet on the train.
Well, how can you go from virtually untradeable to 28 teams jumping on the train?
Because if you release him, now I can get him at my price and I don't have to give up compensation.
You get him for nothing.
The whole thing is, Skip, is that what's the compensation? I'm not going to give up no first round. I'm not going to give up a second rounder. But I might be willing to part ways with a third or fourth rounder for Odell.
Yeah. Okay. So Charles Robinson of Yahoo reports that he's talked to a number of GMs, one AFC general manager, says, I'll be surprised if they can move him for anything because the money is so high. It's $8.05 million, so call it $8 million. And he said this is a consistent theme with Beckham when NFL teams speak about him. So he's hearing this all across the league. The truth is that when teams look at Beckham, they see an $8 million liability for the remainder of 2021. That's how much he's owed the rest of the year. So then it goes back and forth, the piece does, about there are times Mayfield hadn't clicked with Beckham. There are times when he has been frustrated by his use in the offense. That's most of the time.
Stefanski said that.
Yeah. And there are times when Beckham hasn't played nearly as well as some people want to assume, either because of injuries or mistakes or because he's just not the dominant player he once was. That's what I'm seeing. He's just not that guy anymore. I don't know if he hasn't taken care of himself. Maybe the injuries have robbed him of his electricity. He used to be just uncoverable. He's lightning quick and lightning fast. And to his point, he's got the greatest hands in the history of football. So what have I seen this year so far? Well, let's do the two. If it's only two drops, I know which two they're referring to. This was a 4th and 2 at the 17 at Chargers with 8:16 left in the second quarter. It's a 13-10 game, and Baker throws it right to Odell for a first down.
That's a drop.
That was a big, bad drop. Here it is again, and Baker's right on the money with it, and it's a drop. And it's a big first down because they're driving to maybe take the lead.
Correct.
Then we come to the next play. This is against Arizona. This is a 4th down play, 4th and 4 at the 7, and the game's pretty much out of control, but they might get back in the game, and he just wanted no part of this, and you just got to tough up a little bit and hang on, and that's another drop. Those are two 4th down drops.
Yes.
Unclutched drops. Now comes the play in question against the Steelers. It's a 15-10 game with 2:57 left, and you defended Odell, and I did not on this play because if you have the greatest hands ever, this ball's in your back pocket. You just have to go up and snag it. He wanted no part of it because he was going to get hit. So he sort of slowed up and looked kind of awkward, like, I don't know if I want to try this or not because I'll just put a hand up and wave at it.
That's Baker Mayfield. You protected the pocket.
Just go right up and snag it. If you got the greatest hands ever, if your hands, as he says, work like Purell 99.9% of the time, was that the 0.01% of the time when your hands didn't work?
Yeah, but Baker, that germ that we had discovered yet, so we ain't got no cure for it. Really? So I need him to put it right here. Right here, Skip. There, right here. Put that thing right there.
You know what? That truly, if he just runs through the play, it's right there. No, seriously. He kind of slows up and makes an awkward one hand.
There you go.
He's waving off the ball. I don't want to get hit. I deserve to wear a yellow jersey.
What about Baker?
What?
So you ain't going to put no blame on Baker, huh? So none of this is Baker.
This is a throw to win the game. Now, there was a roughing penalty called on Baker on that play, but obviously, if Baker just goes up and snatches it, which he is 1,000% like, Odell goes up and snatches it, then you just decline the penalty because you're going to have 1st and goal at the 3-yard line, and you're going to win the game.
But guess what? They took the penalty, got 15 yards, and then what did Baker do after that?
Well, you should ask what Jarvis did after that because he went drop. Well, it was. He dropped the game. Jarvis dropped the game, but Odell had a chance to win the game and did not. And that's on tape, and they see it, and they're saying, why would we want to pay anything for this? Why would we want to give up a 3rd rounder, a 4th rounder, and take on $8 million for the rest of the year for that?
Skip, it's amazing because that was in Detroit, and that was in Detroit don't look like it does in the Rams, does it? That
so far, but sometimes it reverts back to Detroit.
So, hey, it's rolling good. Skip,
and you can make the case. If Odell went back to the Giants, he might go back to being Odell because he thought, I was born to play in the Big Apple.
No.
Right?
No,
but if you send him to Green Bay, is he really going to love Green Bay? He's going to hate it worse than he hates Cleveland.
Hey, John Mara about to clean house. Everybody about to go up in the Giants.
All right.
But so he ain't going back there. He don't want to go back there. I think the Mara family and the Tisches that own the Giants, they kind of wash their hands with that. But I do think he'll be a great fit in Green Bay.
Okay, Odell has played 44 of his past 74 possible games in the National Football League, and that's including 2 postseason games. And all I know, and you want to poo-poo and scoff at this, but last year, Baker goes on an 8-3 roll to win to finish the year and wins the playoff game at Pittsburgh without Odell. He got hurt at Cincinnati, and in that 11-game stretch, Baker goes 20 touchdown passes to 3 interceptions, and there's no Odell issue. There's no Odell problem.
I noticed you did that again. Now, when you talk about what Odell did in the last 8 games, that's what you say. You say, what Baker did in the last 11 games minus Odell. Not one time did you mention Nick Chubb. Not one time did you mention Kareem Hunt. Now, but when they lose, the first name you throw up there is Odell. The first name you start mentioning is Jarvis drops. You don't mention anything about Baker. But when they went 8-3, what did Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt do? Run there after the football. Play action pass, wide open. Now, all of a sudden, they lose and you ain't mentioned Baker.
20 touchdowns to only 3 interceptions without Odell.
Okay, so what is numbers right now? Now, you remember Odell missed a couple of games. So how did they do without Odell when Odell wasn't there?
Odell's played 6 games so far. He's gotten 34 targets from Baker, and he's caught all of 17. That's a 50% catch rate. That is pathetically bad.
The man need a catcher's mitt to catch some of it.
Oh, does he?
Yeah, Baker hitting him in he does realize this is our soccer. So he throwing the ball, hitting Baker, hitting in the back of the foot. What do you think? This ain't Bendit like Beckham. This is Odell Beckham, not David Beckham. David Beckham is good with his feet. Odell Beckham is good with his hands. I think he's confused the two. Yeah.
Are you sure about that? Once upon a time he was, way back when he made the greatest catch of the history of football against my Dallas Cowboys on Sunday Night Football.
How about Baker practice throws instead of practices his lines for progressive? How about he do that?
Well, how about Odell put on the same kind of show he puts on before the game, during the game?
Well,
how about that?
I could do that. If Baker throw me the ball, he gonna wait till the 4th quarter and he gonna say, "Okay, Odell, I'm coming to you." Oh, wait a minute. Where were you in the 1st quarter? The 2nd quarter, 3rd quarter, you were talking about don't come to me, and now you ain't thrown me no balls the whole day, and now you want me to come to your rescue and save you. I told you not to eat and jump in the water after that. You know, Skip, you're not supposed to eat on a belly full and then jump in the water, go swimming.
That's what they say.
That's what they say. Yep. So now all of a sudden you done jumped in the water with a belly full and you want me to come save you. Nah, I told you to throw me the ball in the 1st and 2nd quarter. Give me some balls, Skip. Let me feel it, get it in my hand, baby.
Odell is averaging 39 yards receiving per game. That's easily a career low. And guess what's happened each of the last 4 years? His yards per game have dropped. Dropped each of the last 4 years. He's in decline. He's not what you think he used to be.
I tell you what, and Baker is exactly what I thought he would be, because his numbers over this season has in decline, steady ticking down.
If I were the Browns, I would just cut bait. If it requires cutting Odell, I mean, just flat out cutting him. Cutting Odell right now, today. Just cut him, clear the air, clear the decks, and see what starts happening to the Cleveland Browns. Because it ain't over. They're not out of it. Nobody's out of it in the AFC.
Yeah, at the end of the day, look, you got mold in your house. Now, you can take out a side of the wall, you can take out a paneling, but this thing need to be fumigated. Now, what you're trying to tell me is that Odell is the only wall that got mold in it. And I'm trying to tell you got another area of the house that got mold also. And so you're going to have problems. Now, the doctor telling you, which is I'm telling you, you got a problem. And it's not just Odell.
The house was mold-free the last 11 games last year. 11 games of mold-free.
Yeah.
And guess who wasn't there?
Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb was that disinfectant. Kareem Hunt was that disinfectant.
They're really good.
Yeah. No. Whoa. Why you say they're really good now? You ain't mentioned them when you talk about Baker with 8-3.
In the end, it's a quarterback's game.
There you go.
There we go.
So it's a quarterback game. So why isn't he quarterbacking?
And guess what? Your favorite website, Pro Football Focus, ranked him the 4th best quarterback over the last 11 games behind Aaron Rodgers and Patrick Mahomes and Deshaun Watson. Yeah. That's the company he was keeping without Odell.
Whoa.
He had Odell mania. He was too Odell-centric. He was Odell-obsessed. You cannot be, because you keep waiting for Odell to be that guy with the Giants, and he ain't that guy anymore.
Skip.
It's time to move on.
Skip, this young lady I was dating, she was in the staffing business. And she was always getting on the phone calling. I see you haven't updated your resume in the last 6 months. Okay, this was Baker's resume last year. Has he updated it this year?
He could if he could get rid of the Odell problem. Because you need to put something on the bottom of that resume, Odell problem.
No, Odell problem. No. What I need to see is I need him to update that resume. Because that's the one thing they're going to ask you. Anybody's looking for a job, have you updated your resume in the last 6 months?
Well, it sounds like that young lady was asking Shannon Sharpe, have you updated your resume? And you said no. And she said, bye.
There you go, man. Why you always got to hit me below the belt?
No, I don't know. You brought it up.
Dating analogies. That's not us. That's on you, Shannon. Sometimes they're not good examples in that case.
Well, she on the way back. How about that? What did she say? Well, you know what, Shannon? I see you updated your resume. I'm coming back. What did she say that?
Where is she now?
Exactly. Good question. Let's get her in.
You a hater, Skip Bayless. You are a hater.
No mercy.
The Lakers host the Rockets tonight, and LeBron enters the game mired in a 1-for-16 shooting slump from three-point range over his last 2 games, including 0-for-6 against Houston when they played on Sunday. I'm going to let him get away with anything. Shannon, how many will he make tonight?
3 for sure. Now, I'll be willing to go to 4 or 5 for a couple of cases if you so want to bless me with that bet.
Okay, I bless you with 5 for 2 cases.
No, 4.
Well, you just said you'd go to 5. It came right out of your mouth.
I said 3 for sure. 3 for sure. Skip, the man 1 for 16. And you talk about LeBrick. 4 cases. Give me 2 cases for 4.
Well, here's the key question back to you, Mr. Sharpe.
Yep.
How many is he going to attempt? He's averaging 9 a game.
9.
He's going to attempt 9?
Yep.
Like in the opener, he attempted 11, and he made 5 in the opener against Golden State. They lost, but it was 5 of 11. Then it was 9 against Phoenix, and he made 5 more. And they lost again. 2 losses with 5 and 5 of 11 and 9. Yeah. And he's averaging 9 a game, which is absurdly, wrongly high for LeBron James, a career 34.5% three-point shooter. And he has regressed to the mean, as the analytics people say. Regressed to the mean, because he's plummeted down to 33%.
Do you want 2 cases for 4 made threes tonight?
I'll do 3 cases for 5.
No.
Well, he's done it twice.
No. But they've been losses too. They've been losses.
Yeah, but guess who they're playing tonight? It's the G Leaguers, the Rockets. Well, it's just they are a pathetic bunch.
They're not pathetic. Stop.
Yes, they are. They're just pathetic. The other night, I tried to. In fact, I ended up watching the whole game after the Cowboy game because I couldn't go to sleep because I was so jazzed up about my Cowboys, and I couldn't believe what Cooper Rush had done to me and for them.
Right.
Because I didn't think they had any chance. So I'm sitting there and I keep watching, and all of a sudden, the Lakers take their foot off the gas, and the G Leaguers start coming.
Exactly.
Kenyon Martin's kid starts going crazy. He made 6 of 7 in the fourth quarter. And I'm thinking, these guys have to come back and play them again in 2 nights. So tonight they get Houston again.
Yeah, but Skip, here's the thing though. I don't think the Rockets will turn the ball over. The had 25 turnovers, which let the Lakers get out to this big lead. I don't believe they'll do that again. LeBron was in a great rhythm shooting the basketball, and then he got the little ankle injury. He missed 2 games, threw his rhythm off. You know, Damian Lillard hadn't found his rhythm yet. I'm not worried about Dame. I'm not worried about LeBron, although LeBron is not the shooter that Dame Lillard is. The thing that I want to see tonight is the consistency. I want to see smart basketball, shot selection. I want to see rebounding. Skip, do you realize the Lakers have been out-rebounded in every game except Cleveland? How they out-rebounded Cleveland with 3 7-footers, Marketing, Allen, and Mobley is unbeknownst to me. But they got out-rebounded by Golden State, a small team. Got out-rebounded by OKC, a small team. Got out-rebounded by the Suns, which is a medium-sized team. But a team with 3 7-footers, you out-rebounded them. Okay. I don't know how. But even the Rockets, all I'm saying is this. LeBron James is going to make 4 made threes. They're going to win by 15.
Okay, before we cinch up this bet, before we put it in cement, I want to show you what LeBron has actually been doing from 3, because let's start 2 games back
there you go.
With the 9 misses on, Friday night against Cleveland. 1, LeBron, a little short. Let's try another one, LeBron. Oh, you're pretty wide open there.
Skip, that look good, though. Skip, you got to admit that look good, though. Skip, that look
I got
good.
This one. I got this.
Look at that.
Come on, LeBron. Oh, this is your favorite. It's a little corner 3, a little offline.
We get it, Bron.
You got this one. Oh, wide open, Bron. Short. Never up, never in. LeBron, you got this one.
That's it.
LeBrick. Nope.
You're a hater,
Sorry.
too.
Try it again, LeBron. I know you got this one. I know you. Short. LeBron, I know you got this one. Oh, come on. This is cake. Nah, a little wide left. It's okay.
But that's all right. Okay. He hit that rhythm back.
Okay, and here we go again. Here's another game. This is Sunday night against the G Leaguers. Miss a corner 3. That's number 1. LeBron got it's a little playing off the back iron.
Okay, we get the picture.
Boom.
We get the
that's
picture.
3.
We get the picture.
Here's the 4th one against Houston. That was pretty contested, and that was pretty bad. You got this, LeBron. I know you got a hot hand in you somewhere. Come on, LeBron. Oh, wide open. They're daring him to shoot it.
You're badgering the client. You're badgering my client.
So we just saw 15 misses, but I'm going to give you the one make because he logo 3.
Yeah, you saw that one? You saw that one?
Friday night, he just said, I got this logo, right? Watch
Ooh.
this. Here, kick it back out to LeBron. Oh, I got this. I'm standing here on this logo, and I'm going to hold the pose. So maybe tonight he should just start shooting logo 3s because there's no pressure, right?
Bold.
Right?
Yeah, you see that? You remember that song, Bold by Madonna?
I do. I love that song.
There's nothing to it.
Okay, so I just demonstrated what he's been going through. He is now 1 for his last 16 threes.
Okay.
And you think he's going to make 5 tonight?
4.
4? Are you sure about that?
I'm 100%.
4. How many will he attempt?
9.
9?
Yep.
Do you like him attempting 9 threes?
If he make 4, I love it. It might make 6.
Do you realize his career high 3-point attempts were each of the last 2 years at 6.3 per game?
Yeah.
And now he's skyrocketed to 9 a game. Do you like having a guy who's shooting 33% from 3, attempting 9 a game?
We're gonna drive
you
the
think
basket.
that's good for the team?
We driving the basket tonight.
Are you?
We're gonna drive the basket tonight. As a matter of fact, we're gonna be 3 of 6 from 3. We're gonna have 25, 8 and 8.
Okay, driving to the basket against these G Leaguers tonight. The G
Man,
League
stop
Rockets,
saying that.
It's like driving a 7-Eleven. I mean, nobody can stop you. You just go to 7-Eleven.
But they don't, Skip. They're not giving the calls. Nobody is getting the calls that they normally would get. Now, I don't know. Maybe the NBA has put an emphasis like we want to clean the game up. We want it more to resemble the international, the Olympic-style play of basketball. Okay, but no one is really getting the calls that they normally would get.
So I guess that explains why LeBron is now a career-low 2 attempts, like 2-point attempts, 11 a game. So he's attempting 9 threes and only 11 twos.
Well, we get it right.
Whew.
But guess what? Skip. It's early in the season, and you're panicking already?
I'm not panicking. I'm afraid for LeBron because he's shooting too many threes, and it's hurting your basketball team.
What's going to help us is just playing together. We got all these games. They back-to-back, right around. We're going to be okay. And I just saw him yesterday. He said, man, I can't wait to get back on the court.
You saw him? Really? Okay, what did I tell you? What did I tweet right before the year started? I can't wait to see Westbrook and LeBrick together shooting threes in the Lakers' backcourt because it's just horrifying. But to have both of them LeBricking threes.
Okay.
Right?
You got a lot of jokes and a lot of bricks, and you just all brick, and you make it seem like we're building a great wall of
They're going to build
China.
a new Staples, right? Before this year's over, they could just build a new arena out in the parking lot with all the bricks.
I can't refute anything that you said thus far about LeBron and Russ shooting the three.
Okay.
I can't refute you.
But
all I can do is say put 2 cases up for 4 made threes tonight.
Okay, you have to tell me how many attempts.
What difference does it make?
Because if he's going to take, if he takes more than 10 attempts, 10 or more attempts, the bet's off.
No.
Why?
Because, hold on.
It's against these G League Rockets.
Let me ask you a question.
He might shoot 15 threes.
So when Tom Brady throws for 350 yards and he has 50 attempts, I don't say, well, Skip, he threw the ball 50 times. He got 350 yards. He got 4 touchdowns.
Okay, I'm going to do it. I'm going to take the 4 for 2 cases, but if he goes over 10 attempts, the bet's off. If it's 10 or more attempts, the bet's off.
Hold on. But what if he's 5 of 10? What if he's 5 of 11?
Okay, but you got to have it under. If he gets to 5 of 9, then you win.
No, hold on. So he might shoot. So let me get this straight. LeBron James might be 8 of 15 from 3. But because he went over 10, I lose the bet.
Do you know how many threes 15 a night are?
No, but
a lot of teams don't shoot 15 threes.
Yeah. If LeBron, here's the thing, what you're trying to get me to agree to. I would lose the bet if LeBron James attempts more than 10 threes. I would literally lose the game if LeBron James attempts 15 threes, makes 8 of them. I would still lose the bet.
No. Yeah, if he goes over 10, right?
Yeah, I'm not getting.
I got you. Well, my point is, if I went out there tonight and you'd let me shoot 15 threes, I could probably make 3.
Make 1.
I might make 3.
I doubt it.
I can shoot it.
No.
Yes, I can. Come with me. Let's go shoot. You and I want to shoot.
You know that's Skip. Look, I got too much. I'm muscle bound. I don't shoot. I shoot a basketball.
You can't shoot.
I could.
Not. You could dunk, but you couldn't shoot.
I could shoot. Skip.
Yeah, it's all right. I got it.
Skip.
No.
I averaged 30 before the 3. You know they didn't put the 3 in until I left high school.
Running and dunking.
Oh my God.
It's okay.
I'm saying is this. We're going to win the game tonight. LeBron James is going to be 25, 8, and 8 with 4 made threes. And Russ will be 17. And Russ will have somewhere between 17 and 20, 8 to 9 rebounds, 7 assists, and 4 turnovers.
Okay, I'll go up 1 3 attempt. I'll say if he takes 11 or more threes, the bet's off.
But Skip, no, because if he makes 8 threes out of 15 attempts, I lose the bet.
Yeah.
No.
Would. Well, it's too many attempts.
8 made threes.
Well, do you really think he's going to take 15 shots?
He might. I mean, if he's feeling it, why wouldn't he? Why wouldn't he take it?
The G Leaguers.
Oh, God. Christian Wood, he's not any good? Jaylen Green, he's not any good?
Well, I thought he was going to be. Not yet. He looks like he's still in the G League. And maybe that's where
Eric
he belongs.
Gordon.
He's on his last legs.
Oh,
he's about all they have.
Everybody's on their last leg when they play LeBron.
Okay. 4 threes, but 11 or more attempts, bets off.
Nope. No deal.
Okay.
No deal.
All right, we'll figure this out later in the show.
Yeah, we've got more time later.
Yeah.
No mercy.
Tonight, Game 6 of the World Series at 7:30 Eastern on Fox. Houston tries to force a Game 7 while Atlanta looks for their first championship since 1995. But they're not the only ones hoping to win big. Big Papi is giving away $25,000 for Game 6 tonight on the Fox Bet Super 6 app. Super 6 players have won over $5.5 million, and you could be next. So scan the QR code, download the app, answer 6 questions about the game before first pitch tonight at 7:30 Eastern on Fox. Don't miss out. It is free to play. Win some money along the way. Well, let's talk about Skip's team next. Mike McCarthy has been bringing Dak Prescott along slowly since he sustained his calf injury. And yesterday, he told reporters he expects his franchise QB to be a full go for Thursday's practice. Plus, according to Fox Bet Sportsbook, the Cowboys are 10-point favorites against Shannon's Broncos this Sunday, which would seem to be a good sign for his return to game action this weekend on Fox. So, Shannon, should he play on Sunday?
Yes, before you say that, before I go any further, Jenny, Jerry Jones is bringing Dak Prescott along slowly, not Mike McCarthy. Mike McCarthy is just head coach in title only.
I'll buy that.
Yeah, Skip, if he's a full go, I don't see any reason why he shouldn't play. I still believe this was an indictment on Kirk Cousins because they said, we believe we can beat this football team with Cooper Rush, who's only immensely talented team supporting cast around him. Hence, Amari Cooper and CeeDee Lamb goes over 100 yards receiving with a backup quarterback. They basically said, we can take our backup quarterback and beat your starter. So that was an indictment. I would be offended. I would be offended if I know a guy was going to have to, he was normally going to cover me. And they say, well, yeah, Shannon, he's warming up out on the field. And then they come back in and say, well, Shannon, they no-go. I said, but he was just warming up and he looked good. And they say, they believe they backup can take me, or I'm offended. I'm highly offended. And Kirk Cousins went out there like it was nothing. Like, oh, okay. That's what it is, huh? So for me, I believe Dak Prescott is going to play. I believe he was healthy enough to play, but they had no respect for the opposing quarterback. They said, so we're going to send Cooper Rush out there. We're going to send our little brother. let Big Brother have another week off.
Yep.
And he's going to be able to play this week. The line, Dak plays, I think it's going to be somewhere around 13, 14, maybe as high as 17.
17 points,
yeah.
The line?
Yeah.
If Dak is a sure go,
yeah.
You think it's going to be a 17-point game?
I think the line should be 13. Yeah. Yeah.
I thought you were a Bronco.
I am a Bronco, but I ain't a fool. Yeah, I am a Bronco. I mean, but
13 points?
Bruh, I just saw them score 17 points against Washington.
Who won the game?
They did.
Well, you love Washington.
But like you tell me, they ain't saying much.
Huh?
Just like you said, the G League, are we sure Washington still in the team?
Well, you loved them before the season started.
You see what you said? You put an ED on that. Loved. I'm not in love anymore.
What about that front seven?
What? Yeah, tell me about it.
What about it?
What? Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up.
How about that Teddy Bridgewater?
Stop it.
Did he do enough to win the game?
Skip, it's not going to be enough to win the game against the Cowboys.
Last time we saw Teddy Bridgewater, it was at New Orleans on a Sunday night when I thought we were riding high. Do you remember this? Dak had just sent skyrockets up in the first 3 games. He was leading the league in QBR. And we, the Dallas Cowboys, managed 10 points, and Teddy Bridgewater scored 12 for the New Orleans Saints.
I believe
remember that?
Dak is a very different player now than he was then. The confidence that he has now.
I thought you loved your Broncos defense.
I do. Skip.
Well, do you?
They've been beat up. They've had a lot of injuries. They have a lot of guys. Now, they are getting some guys back. But the Cowboys are playing at an extremely high level. And offensively, I don't know if they can match the firepower in which Dallas can send out there offensively. Because to beat these top-tier NFC teams, Skip, you're going to have to score with them. The likelihood of you winning a 17-14 ball game in their building is not very likely.
Okay, but Kirk Cousins only lost 20-16.
If Dak Prescott had played that game, the Cowboys would have scored 35, 40 points.
You really think so?
I 100% think so.
I respect Minnesota on defense. I think they're decent.
Not with Skip. Their secondary isn't very good. And then once Danielle Hunter went out and they couldn't consistently generate pressure, Skip, that's Dak Prescott. The guy's playing at an MVP level. Cooper Rush threw for 325. It's hard for me to see a scenario where Dak Prescott is not at least 75, 80 yards and 2 touchdowns better than Cooper Rush.
Well, that's why I started calling him Cooper Mount Rushmore, right? Does he belong yet? I think we're heading there, right?
Oh, so he about to pull a Clint Longley, huh?
I guess so. Well, Clint Longley was just 1 throw, right? But this was 325.
Oh, so he Danny White? You know, Danny White was a very good backup, Skip.
Hey, I was there. But Danny was a starter.
He ended up being a starter. He was a punter and a starter.
He was very good,
He was.
Then he
was very absolute, really.
He was in college.
Yeah.
Here's what I believe. Jerry right now is sitting back, big old chair, easy chair up in his sweet office up there, the Star, and he thinks I snookered the Vikings.
Yeah.
Because Shannon Sharpe bought it when I said on my radio show, I 100% he's going to play, right? He was just, there was no doubt in his mind Dak was going to play at Minnesota.
Right.
Well, I think there was doubt because of Michelle Tafoya's report on NBC on Sunday night that Dak felt a pop in his calf and there was a tear in the belly of the calf.
Right.
Pop and tear. Well, that's pretty serious business. And she said it was a 4-week injury, and this was only after their bye week, 2 weeks, right?
But here's the thing, Skip. I'm not here. She did a great job reporting, but it's easy to report that during the game and not during the course of the week. Because I just listened to the Vikings, and they said we were preparing for Dak Prescott. And so in preparing for Dak...
Zimmer tried to sell that, I had tape that we were going to watch on Cooper Rush back to Central Michigan.
Right.
And Xavier Woods, the ex-Cowboy now playing safety for the Vikings, said, we didn't watch any Cooper Rush. We just watched Dak. He said we watched a little bit of Cooper Rush.
Right.
They were all in for Dak Prescott.
That is correct.
Okay, that's why Jerry thinks he snookered them.
He probably did.
Because he set them up, and then he had Dak go out there and go through the motions of the pregame drills like he was going to play.
Right.
And Chris Collinsworth said on the telecast, I watched him in the warm-ups. He looked pretty good.
Right.
Looked like he was full tilt, and I thought he was going to play.
And the thing is, Skip, when you don't have tape, you get the element of surprise. Did we not see what the Jets quarterback did? There ain't no tape. And he goes through for 420.
Former Cowboy draft pick, a fifth-rounder, Mike White.
And he goes to throw for 425.
Yep.
Now, moving forward, we got tape on him. They got tape on Cooper Rush. It would be very interesting to see if Cooper Rush were to play again, what would he look like? If this kid plays in the Jets, got wet all up in arms, he doing handstands. I'm sure you was with you yesterday doing cartwheels.
Yeah.
And you was going to get your COVID test.
I'm not sure he did cartwheels.
But he was very excited, huh?
Yes. So the point is, if in fact Michelle is right, and I got nothing but respect for her, that it feels like Cooper Rush was such a spectacular success, and Jerry's loving him like a son now, like he's a homegrown.
Right.
He wasn't a draftee, but he was a signee. He was an undrafted free agent signee. And they have, quote unquote, raised Cooper Rush, and they stuck with him. I'm campaigning for Cam Newton, others for other players.
Right.
They did leave him behind for Andy Dalton for a while, and he went to New York, then he got cut and came back. But the point is, he was so spectacularly successful. My gut at this moment is they will go with Cooper Rush one more week just because of what you say about Denver. They're already a double-digit favorite, and that's with Vegas not knowing, the odds makers not really knowing, is it Dak or Cooper Rush? Well, they're saying even if it's Cooper Rush, they're a 10-point favorite.
I think, look, and guess what? The next week they go on the road to Kansas City. They'll be favored again in that game.
Yeah, they got Atlanta first at home.
Oh, they got 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
Yeah,
2
but
weeks.
it would be. Yes.
So, and could they go Cooper Rush again for Atlanta? So basically 3 weeks to make sure we're going to give Dak a full month, because if Michelle reporting is factual and we believe it to be.
We do.
That would be 4 weeks. You get to buy 3 weeks. Because Skip, Michael Gallup's been out since week 1. I ain't even heard him. Have they mentioned Michael Gallup's name?
Nope.
Is he still on the roster?
Zach Martin tore his calf muscle or badly pulled it on Thanksgiving Day last year. Done for the year.
Right. Because he was nursing it and tried to fight through it.
He did. And he was gone in the first series.
Yep. And when he went down.
Okay, so they have history. McCarthy had history with Aaron Rodgers. He tried to nurse it through that 2014 playoff run. Dak did catch it, and so they should have lost that game. But they didn't lose that game, and they went on to Seattle. And again, he's a little limpy.
Dez didn't catch that ball.
Dez caught that ball.
No, he did not.
Well, it should have been, and we should have been going to Seattle where we had already won a regular season game, and then we would have been Super Bowl bound. But sometimes New York says no. They just said no.
That's what New York said, huh?
But the ref put his hands up. Touchdown. Well, he caught it, he ran with it, and he slammed it with his left hand. He's left-handed on the goal line.
Hence, they've changed the rules.
He had such control. He slammed the ball on the goal line. Well, what more could you ask for? I mean, what's not to like about that catch?
If you leave your feet, you must maintain possession throughout the entirety of the act of catching the football.
He caught it. He ran 2 full strides and slammed it in his left hand like a running back would on the goal line, breaking the plane for a touchdown.
I don't believe so. But anyway, I believe Dak Prescott is going to play.
Mike McCarthy watched Aaron limp through the whole play.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And he's saying now, I don't want to see that again.
Oh, and so Aaron Rodgers limped through the playoff and beat your Cowboys?
Well, he, quote-unquote, beat them. They actually won the game on the field, but that's okay.
You do realize
that
Aaron Rodgers, they went down the field, they were driving the ball, because that was 4 minutes left in the ball game when they did that. And Aaron Rodgers ran the clock out. They ran the clock out.
They did.
Okay, I was just making sure you know.
He limped the clock out on my team, and that's okay. But the point is, I'm now to the point where they think Cooper Rush is Cooper Mount Rushmore.
And you believe that too, because you keep on hyping it up like, oh, we don't need, I mean, you over there just like, oh, no, we good. Let Dak take a little bit more time. We got Cooper Rush.
Okay, I do fear, I do dread, I do respect your defense. I think it's really good. You know what I thought of Pat Surtain?
Yes.
Okay, and he's having a very good year. He's going to be. He'll be one of the all-rookie cornerbacks.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't know.
I mean, you talking about Cooper Rush like he Gary Cooper or somebody.
I did not say that.
Yeah, I mean, I never said that. You hyping him up? I mean, geez.
Didn't I tell you? I tweeted at halftime when he had a pretty shaky first half. Will Greer, who's their third-string quarterback and now their backup if Dak doesn't play, I think he's better than Cooper Rush because I loved him at West Virginia. I told you that before that draft.
Right.
So to me, he just hasn't been there long enough, but he could do bigger and better things than Cooper Rush could. But I can't argue with the second half because Cooper Rush was really good. He made all the – but the one throw to Amari that Amari juggled and caught, that's an interception ball, you know? And if it gets intercepted, we might be having a different conversation.
No, Kirk Cousins going to go 3 and out. They're going to get the ball to go down again. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
I don't know.
Yeah. Let's give them 1 for 13.
Okay.
What did you see in that game that made you think that they could run out the clock?
Okay, what's your gut feeling? Dak or no Dak on Sunday?
I say Dak.
You say Dak?
I say Dak.
Okay, you said Dak this past Sunday, and I said no Dak.
I'm going to ride with it.
Okay, I'm riding with no Dak. I'm going to have to ride with Cooper.
Okay.
I got no choice.
2 cases for Dak playing.
Well, I'm not going to bet against my team.
You ain't really bet.
I won't bet. I'll bet on LeBron. Look, if LeBron makes 8 threes tonight, you win the bet. You can have that, okay?
8?
Yeah, if he makes 8, like if I don't care how many attempts, but if we're just talking about 4, the attempts have to be under 11.
Okay.
Deal. Thank you. Done. Next.
You're good with that? You're good with that?
11 or under. So if he goes 4 for 11, I win. But 12 bet, if he goes 4 for 12, I lose.
Okay, got it.
Okay. Keep this interesting
Got
always.
it. Bro, you see that?
Always.
I know you got it.
Ron, did you see that? Because
We'll
he might
see if
be.
he's listening. We'll see.
No mercy.
The Celtics were up 19 on the Bulls last night before blowing that lead down the stretch and losing to Chicago by 14, 128 to 114. And after the game, Marcus Smart didn't hold back on his teammates, saying, quote, "Every team knows we are trying to go to Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown. I think everybody's scouting report is to make those guys try to pass the ball. They don't want to pass the ball." Shannon, was it right or wrong for Marcus Smart to say this?
He's right, but he shouldn't say this publicly. And I think his frustration stems from, I believe he's had this conversation with them behind closed doors, Skip, and it seems to be falling on deaf ears. So he says, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put you on blast.
Yep.
I'm going to let everybody know y'all ball hogging. And what's happened in the ball, Skip, I don't think I've ever seen this. In the fourth quarter, the Celtics did not get an off defensive rebound. The Bulls were 13 of 16 from the floor. I've never seen, I don't, and the game was like, they're up 19. I'm like, oh, ain't no sense in me watching this thing over. And then I go to turn back and it's black. The screen, I'm like, what? Dang, that went quick. I'm like, hold on. And this, if I go out, get on my phone, I say the Celtics lost.
They did.
I said, they were up 19.
Yep.
And then I looked at how bad they, I'm like, hold up. How do you be up 19 and lose by 14? How is that possible? Well, I see how that's possible, Skip. When you go 3 of 20 in the fourth, and the other team go 13 of 16, and they go 3 of 6 and they go 10 of 11 from the foul line.
Yep.
Therein lies the problem.
Yep.
And I believe this is what's frustrating Marcus Smart. Marcus Smart has had the conversation, I believe, it's mainly Tatum, because Tatum got no conscience. Kobe was a blessing and a curse for a lot of people because Kobe mentality is, if you shot 20 times and you went 4 for 20, you didn't shoot enough.
Yep.
You should have been 4 for 30. And guys are taking that to heart. And so they just keep shooting. And he says, hold on, bro. Instead of taking that 4 shot with 2-3 guys on you, how about kick the ball and you might be able to get it back, but somebody's in position to get a better shot.
Yep.
Jaylen Brown was 10 of 18, 5 of 8, 3 of 4, 28. He was plus. Jayson Tatum was minus 24. So I think that's the frustration, Skip. I think this is something that you keep behind closed doors, Skip, because you remember, Skip, in the playoffs, Michael Porter Jr. said the exact same thing in the playoff game about Jamal Murray and Yoke shooting all the shots, and they had to pull him aside, and the head coach like, yeah, hey, guess what? And they're going to continue to shoot all the shot. Keep your mouth closed. And so I think this is just the frustration. Season's not going quite the way they envisioned it. And this is what happened. But he's right. But be right behind closed doors. Don't make this stuff become public.
Not only was he right, but I believe he was right to to take a public stand, because I agree with you. From what I know of Marcus Smart, he'd already made his feelings clear in the locker room behind closed doors. And he is a veteran leader of this team, 8 years into the NBA. And he is a starter for this team.
Yeah.
And this team is off to a horrendous start. They've lost their first 3 home games for the first time in franchise history.
Wow.
And I'm a big fan of the new coach of the Celtics, but I don't love where this is heading for his sake. Ime Udoka, who was Pop's right-hand man through all the dynasty years.
Yep.
And I was so happy he got this job with this team, still kind of on the verge. I don't love the team because I've never loved Jayson Tatum.
Got some young talent, Skip.
Yeah, it's pretty good, and it's going nowhere slowly. And last night, they hit bottom in the fourth quarter because in the shot clock era, no team has ever led by 14 or more going to the fourth quarter and lost by 14 or more points, and they just pulled that feed off. Yeah. And the way it happened was what you said. You get out-rebounded in a quarter, 16-3. 16-3? How do you do that? And you go 0 for 8 from 3 while the Bulls are... And the Bulls are really good. They're sort of the surprise of the NBA so far.
Yeah.
And they're good on both ends. They play defense.
They do.
And they make 3 of 6 threes and made 13 of 16 shots, and you make 5 of 23, and you lose the fourth quarter 39 to 11?
I've never seen anything like
39 to 11 on your home floor?
Not a fourth quarter.
So, look, what do we know about Marcus? Well, he's raw proud, and he can be hot-headed.
Right.
And yet, when I watched him say this after the game, he didn't seem hot-headed.
No, he was very calm. He was very calm. And he's we've had this conversation, and it wasn't like he was just like.
Nope, he wasn't.
Calm, speaking like, okay.
He was speaking like a leader would speak.
Yes.
And he basically summed it up by saying, and I'm paraphrasing the quote, I can't do much just standing in the corner.
Right.
Well, most of the night he's just standing there like, I'm open.
And the thing was, Kobe was able to take tough contested shots, and he can make them. And I think the thing is what he's instilled. You hear Skip, you hear everybody, mama mentality. But unless you're and Kobe's style early on rubbed a lot of his teammates the wrong way.
Yep.
And that's what people just look at the 5 championships and then look at the end result.
Yep.
But it takes you're not Michael. Michael could ostracize his teammates. Kobe could do that. It's a different era, guys. Guys are not going to just stand around and let you shoot 35 shots a game while they just stand in the corner and be cool with it. It's a different era. It's a different time now. And things that flew with Michael, things that flew with Kobe, you just can't think just because, they talked to me and they instilled in me and they told me to do this. They're like, Kobe told you to do that? Well, okay, I'm cool with it because Kobe was cool with me. And they be like, man, you missed me with that. Hey, I want to participate also. I get it. But guess what? You can get an easier shot. You swing the ball to me.
Yep.
Now I do something, put the ball on the floor. They going to come to me. I kick it back to you. Instead of you taking a shot with 2 or 3 on you, now you get an opportunity to go one-on-one.
Yep.
Or get a wide open shot.
Okay.
That's what Marcus is trying to say. It's just that, Skip, when you're a team sport and you say something that's going to be viewed as criticism in a public setting.
Yep.
And now, I'm sure Udoka is going to have a conversation with the guys. We're a family. We need to keep our stuff in-house.
Yep.
And it's going to go from there. But I get his frustration, Marcus Smart's frustration. When you lose, Skip, it's like, damn, we supposed to be better than this.
Okay, so Kobe's protege, Jayson Tatum, in the fourth quarter went 1 of 8 and 0 for 3 from 3. And Jaylen Brown didn't shoot that much. He took 2 shots, but he missed them both.
Right.
So Jayson Tatum scored 2 and Jaylen scored none in the fourth quarter.
Right.
Well, that's how you lose 39 to 11
Right.
because they are your 2 biggest guns. They are your 2 stud star, all-star caliber players.
And Jaylen Brown had 28 points through 3 quarters.
He did.
I mean, and think about it, Skip. At that point, he was 10 of 16.
Yep.
He had missed 6 shots.
So this whole situation is so desperate right now that I thought Marcus Smart was actually within his rights to go DEFCON 1 on it because you just got to call everybody out and hope that it all comes out.
Right.
And that you can all readdress it in private today, to your point, and maybe it will somehow reunite or unify the team a little bit where they all look in the mirror and say, okay, yeah, I got to do better than that.
But, Skip, when you look at this team, I get it. Jayson Tatum is an all-star. Jaylen Brown is an all-star. Al Horford is a former all-star. Skip, I get all that. But when we look at this team, do you see championship? I see a good basketball team. I don't see championship.
Yeah.
I mean, Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown, they're not superstars.
They're not.
You win with superstars.
I've said this especially about Jayson Tatum. He's a good player. He's a very good player, but he's not a great player.
No.
And you can't trust him always to be there to score the points when you need that shot made.
You might can win a championship, Skip, with a superstar and some very good players like Giannis. I don't think Chris Middleton's a superstar. I don't think Holiday's a superstar. I think they're very good. Giannis is a superstar. James Harden, Kevin Durant are superstars.
Yep.
I think you can win with that. But these are just good players. I don't see how you win a championship with the team the way they constructed. Well, they're going to end up getting off one of these guys.
You don't think a whole lot of Dennis Schroeder, and he's now a Celtic, right? Okay.
Hey, and just think, the Lakers had $21 million on the table for him.
Mm-hmm. They did.
He'll never see that again.
I like Aaron Nesmith from Vanderbilt University, and he can shoot it, and I like Peyton Pritchard, but they're not. None of these players are going to get you over the top.
Did you see what Trez called the man? Trez told the man on the other day he was trash.
Which man?
Schroeder.
Oh, yeah.
They were playing him. He said, you trash, bro. We just play. We teammates, and I call you trash. Caruso he tried to shoot a shot on Caruso. Get that out of here. You cost us last year. You think I'm going to let you get a shot up now?
Well, here come the Bulls, and there go the Celtics.
Skip, the Bulls look good because they're good defensively. You look at Lonzo Ball, you look at Caruso, you look at Derrick Jones. DeMar DeRozan can play defense.
He can.
I mean, they
get after
Vucevic.
Yep.
They got a nice defensive team. Mm-hmm. They got a nice overall ball club, Skip. Now, I'm not saying they're about to come out the East now, but I'm saying I think they could probably be a 3rd or 4th seed.
6-1 already. Yeah. Celtics 2-5. Yikes.
That'll get you called out being 2-5.
Yep.
It'll get you called out by your teammates 2-5. Skip.
That's correct.
No mercy.
Sunday, the Astros came back from a 4-run deficit to force a Game 6 and now head back to Houston, looking to extend the series again, while the Braves just need one more win to clinch the title. The World Series continues tonight, 7:30 Eastern, only on Fox and the Fox Sports app. When the Cowboys huddled up for the game-winning touchdown on Sunday, CeeDee Lamb apparently lobbied in the huddle to get switched with Amari Cooper in the formation so he could make the play of the night. However, Cooper bluntly told his second-year teammate, quote, hell no, and proceeded to get the go-ahead score with less than a minute left. So, Shannon, I'm curious your thoughts. You've clearly been in a lot of huddles. Mm-hmm. Who is the Cowboys' #1 receiver right now?
Amari. Amari is. CeeDee Lamb is a very good receiver. I think he'll have a very, very promising career. But right now, Amari is still it. And I think the thing is, Skip, he doesn't do anything. If you notice, he got the ball. He's like, here, ref, take the ball. Ran on off the field. No celebrations, no time, no waving, no nothing. He's just as plain as you get. And maybe that's the Alabama in him, because that's Julio. I mean, the thing is, they catch the ball, Skip, and they hand the ball away. They hand the ball over.
Yep.
But Amari is it. And they're very close, Skip. If you look at the season targets, CeeDee has 57 targets for 39 catches. Amari has 56 targets for 38 catches. Mm-hmm. Thus far this year, Pro Football Focus has not credited a drop to Amari Cooper. Mm-hmm. And the biggest knock on Amari Cooper, they say, has been inconsistency. Well, this year he's been as consistent as they come. CeeDee Lamb had a 2-catch, 13-yard game against Carolina. And I think the thing is that in that situation, Skip, and CeeDee had a bad drop. And we saw a couple I think Thanksgiving.
He did.
Last year, he had another bad drop.
He has had a history back to college of when you least expect it, he drops one.
I'm not saying it's a big gap between the two of these guys, but Amari Cooper right now is the #1 receiver. And if you want to say 1A and 1B, whatever. But right now, Amari is where it's at. Because when it comes to route running, CeeDee can't see it. He's still the guy. He's still the guy that they go into the game that you got to worry about. And I think the thing is that CeeDee was trying to steal that man route. He was trying to put Amari to the 2 receiver side so he could have the open side to himself. Because he know that's where the ball was going, because that's the open side of the field.
Yep.
So I don't blame him, Skip, but it just goes to show you his thought process. I can make that play too. And the fact that he has enough confidence in himself. But Amari said, nah, bro. Hey, you just saw me out. I done been Theragunning. I done been a tennis ball in my hamstring. Oh, I'm finna get this money. I'm finna make this money today. Because at the end of, what are we talking about, Skip? The throw and the catch. And Amari knew if CeeDee got that, CeeDee gonna be getting talked about with the throw and the catch. So, nah, bro, I'm gonna get this money.
We got the throw and the catch at New England, the calf catch, the calf pop catch, right?
And that's what we remember. And even, because remember, Skip, Amari had a couple of big catches, even on this drive. Amari had some big catches. I think he had 3 for 39? 3 for 39, I think, if I'm not mistaken, Skip, on this drive alone.
Okay. My view of this, as I predicted going into this year, CeeDee Lamb has emerged as the #1 receiver. It's close, but he has emerged. Your favorite website, Pro Football Focus, ranks CeeDee among all receivers 9th. Amari is tied for 20th. And the one stat you got to and then you stopped on was total yards catches. Like you said, their catches are very close, 38, 39. But CeeDee has caught 609 yards worth of football to 495 for Amari. And that's in large part because yards after catch, CeeDee is 232 to Amari's 110. So Amari will catch it. It's usually kind of the end of that play. He'll catch it, and whatever it is, it is.
Remember, though, Skip, remember early in the season, he was dealing with that ankle. And so that had a lot to do with it. He's like, okay, let me just secure the thing. And I think a lot of times Amari is getting the #1 receiver. And so CeeDee's feet, but
the #1 DB.
Excuse me. Yeah, the #1 DB, and he does. CeeDee does a lot of his work in the slot.
Okay, 20+ yard catches. CeeDee has 11 to Amari's 8. Okay, I hear you about route running. There's not a better route runner that I see in pro football than Amari is. What I love about this, why I don't, in the end, don't even care about this question is, it's 1A, 1B. And what I loved about what happened Sunday night at Minnesota was Amari did something that we've seen him do again and again and again on the road. He shut it down by taking himself out of the game. So let's see his 2 straight catches on the final drive, because the first one was a bad throw by Cooper Rush. This is a turnover-worthy throw that his receiver went and got for him. Number 19 just says, well, I'll just take it away from him and kick it up in the air, and then I'm going to go get it. And that was concentration and willpower, and that was pretty special. And then he came right back and hit him again for another big game. And this is the one that Amari came up a little gimpy on. And this is when I saw that, I said, he's done for the night. And it ticks me off, like, well, why does it always happen to me on the road with him? Because remember 2019, it was again and again. And then what happens? We come right back, and guess who's in the game? And when I looked up and saw 19 catching this ball, I said, it's a miracle. He came back. He rose from the dead to make this catch. Why did he rise from the dead?
Because he's standing on the sideline and he could hear Kellen Moore make the call.
That is correct. And he is running back into the game because he knows they're going to throw a fade route that he should be catching.
You're exactly right.
And the only reason he came back in was because CeeDee Lamb is a Dallas Cowboy and he is on the rise. And he's getting way more acclaim nationally than Amari is. Well, I can't lose on this if they will compete with each other internally. What a beautiful thing that is. I wish I'd had CeeDee in 2019. Do you remember what happened at Jets? Amari caught his first ball of the game for 5 yards, and that was the last we saw of him. Do you remember what happened at New England? Amari didn't catch a ball because Stephon Gilmore, Defensive Player of the Year, just said, no, you can't play today. Remember? And he went over there and stood. He took himself out of the game and put his long coat on, stood over there on the sidelines and said, no mas. To Stephon Gilmore. And do you remember what happened at Philly in the make-or-break game of the year? In the fourth quarter, Jason Garrett, still the head coach at that point, removed Amari from the game because he didn't like his half-hearted route running at that point and said, I'll go with Tavon Austin down the stretch of this game at Philadelphia. And unfortunately, Dak missed Tavon, who ran past the cornerback, and it could have been a big play. Maybe they had a chance to go for 2 and tie the game. Okay, so the point is, I couldn't trust Amari on the road in 2019, and now I trust him because of CeeDee Lamb. It's beautiful. We got one pushing the other.
Yeah.
And listen, there's high respect for each other.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
And I've been there, Skip. You know, you hear the call. Oh, that's me.
Ooh, gotta get back
bro.
on the field.
Come on.
Okay, but you didn't have another tight end as good as you.
No.
Right?
But the thing is, Skip, you know, it's a running play. I'm good over here. Hey, I hear a pass.
Okay.
And Amari, because you look at Skip, he's on the sideline. He heard Kellen Moore calling such and such. Oh, that's me.
Yeah.
Because you better believe CeeDee was going to go to the upper side of the field and catch this fade route.
Okay, remember Hard Knocks, what Dak said standing on the sidelines when he was shut down during training camp?
Right.
And CeeDee ran under a go route.
Right.
He said it's like he walks under go routes because he runs so easily, effortlessly to get deep.
But you remember, also in Hard Knocks, Tavon Diggs started talking.
He did.
Amari don't do the... And Dak started gassing up Amari.
Amari
said, okay, let me go shut this down.
Right. And he did.
And he did.
Okay, because he's that good. And guess what? He gets paid to be that good because he makes $20 million bucks.
See, the thing is, Skip, is that we look at Amari, and because his demeanor, he's not demonstrative.
No.
But you see when Trayvon started talking, and Dak started gassing him up, and he said, I don't even talk like that.
Yep.
That ain't even me. But, so he knows what's on the opposite side. Man, hey, they gonna keep feeding him more balls if I don't get on my game. Because he know what it's like. You saw it in San Francisco when T.O. started coming on.
Oof.
And then what happened to Jerry Rice last game? They threw T.O. 20 balls.
Well, because it was Jerry Rice's day.
Exactly.
I was there.
Yes.
I was sitting in the press box because I was covering the Bears in Chicago. And Lord have mercy. So they said on Jerry Rice Day, we're going to triple Jerry Rice.
Yeah, they're like, you're not...
So T.O.'s over there just singled the whole day. I'm not even sure they guarded him.
He caught 20 balls. So Amari knows when you get a first-round draft pick, Skip, there's something to be said about a guy that got drafted. Even though Amari Cooper's he was there before CeeDee, he wasn't drafted to the Cowboys like the other guys that wore 88.
Yep.
So there's a special place in Cowboys lore and in the fans' heart for CeeDee Lamb.
Definitely.
Because he's us. We drafted him.
Yeah, and he's wearing 88.
Right.
Yeah.
And plus, so Amari knows he has to step up his game. So I'm not so sure, Skip, if they don't have him, if they don't have CeeDee, I don't know if a situation like this, if he gonna throw a gun and roll that thing out and get back up in the ball game. Because it probably was bothering him the whole game. But because that guy on the other side.
Beautiful. And I like it. They don't seem friendly to each other because Amari's taken some little shots at him when the story broke, I think it was last Sunday, that CeeDee has been fined and fined. And Amari's like, doesn't he care about money?
Yeah. Amari, CeeDee, I'm like, CeeDee. They got me. I can't believe the fine is still $5,000. They should have upped that. That's what they were charging
for what?
me. For soccer.
Uniform?
Uniform. I got that a lot.
Did you?
Yeah, I would. Yeah, me and Aaron Glenn. Skip, if I get tackled, you think I got time to look down? Oh, my sock down. Let me pull my sock. Skip, I'm just playing football. The guy tackled me, my jersey come untucked. Well, Shannon, you know, we saw you went 2 plays without your jersey untucked. Man, what the hell? Man, I'm playing football. It's football.
We should have a uniform fine on this show. You know, some of those outfits you wear, I don't know, they're finable.
Look at this. I look very debonair.
Yeah.
I don't know about that. We have a lovely lady, Autumn, who does our wardrobe, and she makes sure we all look sharp every single day, right? I think so.
No mercy.
Damian Lillard struggled in a loss to the Embiid-less Sixers last night, only scoring 20 points, including 2 for 9 from 3 in a 113-103 loss. And after the game, Lillard said that the struggles give him a chance to show his true character, but people raised some eyebrows at that comment, considering this past weekend he had a freestyle that went viral during which he rapped, quote, "Not wanting to join a super team might end up being my Achilles heel." So, Shannon, is his heart in playing for the Blazers right now?
I believe it is. I know that I just feel that he wants to try to do what Dirk Nowitzki did. He wants to do what Giannis did, Skip. Stay in one location and bring a title there without joining what Steph Curry did, especially in the modern era, Skip. Now, so we got to look at things basically since the 2000s. Because everybody, Jordan didn't do that. That was a different era. It's not like they couldn't. It's not like the NFL, Skip. There was no free agency back then. So we can't say, well, Joe Montana didn't go join this team or this or that because there was no free agency as it is now. So since the advent of the free agency that we have in the NBA, I believe Dame wants to try to do what Giannis was able to do, what Dirk Nowitzki stay at a locale, don't join, and win a championship. The question is, and I believe he has it, he'll go down as one of those players, the best player never won a championship. He'll be thought of like Charles Barkley, Karl Malone, Patrick Ewing, Reggie Miller. I mean, if he's okay with that, that's okay. I don't believe they can surround him with what he needs to win a title. If you're going to have a long, deep playoff run, I'm sure I have no question in my mind that Damian Lillard would snap up out of this slump. But at the end of the day, Skip, what moves have they made to say, you know what, they can come out of the West? As great as he is, what moves? It's the same. CJ, him, Nurk. Okay, Norman Powell, no, but come on, bro. So that's the thing for me, is that if he's cool with it, if he like it, I love it. But just know, you're not going to be, you want to see what you can do on the big stage, like CP3.
Yep.
You want to say, okay, I got everybody's undivided attention. I think that's what ultimately that he wants. I just don't believe it's going to happen for him in Portland. And if he wants that to see, because it gives you an opportunity to test, your how tough you are in struggles. The true test comes in the championship, Skip. That's where guys, Kobe made his name. Shaq, LeBron, the greats, they make their game in that game, Skip. That's where you make your name.
Okay, I hear everything you just said, but I take issue with what Damian freestyled. And I know it's just kind of off the top of your head, and maybe I'm reading too much into it, but if I were his teammate, I would not love this. Because he's talking about it may end up being my Achilles heel to stay here.
Right.
I'm on my shield, like I'm dying for this cause. And I'm trying to get next to Freak, obviously Giannis and Dirk Nowitzki, on that lonely hill. So you're telling your teammates, now, I'm out here by myself. I'm on this lonely hill, and I'm all we got.
Right.
And I can't do enough because I got an Achilles heel because I don't have enough help. That's what he's crying for more help.
Right.
But when you cry for help, you dismiss who you have.
Right.
And CJ he's pretty good.
Yes.
Nurk can be pretty good.
Yes.
Norman Powell can be pretty good. Do I think they're a great team? I do not.
Right.
Are they a playoff team? Yeah. Can they go a distance in the playoffs? Only if the two guards shoot you a great distance. They just got to get hot.
Right.
In that 1 year up against Golden State when Kevin was hurt, Kevin Durant was out, it was just two guards versus two guards. I know there's Draymond, but it's still 2 versus 2. Dame and CJ were terrible in 4 straight fourth quarters and in overtime. They were just terrible. They shot themselves in the foot.
That might have been his best chance to advance.
It was. Okay, so you made your bed, now you got to lie in it, not cry in it.
Yes, I agree.
And he's crying in it, but he committed and he wears it as a badge of honor. I love Portland, and I want to do this for the city of Portland.
Right.
Well, then don't tell me you have an Achilles heel, which is staying in Portland.
Right.
And by the way, brings in Hector. I don't know what that was, because Hector was like the greatest warrior for Troy in the Trojan War against the Greeks, but then Achilles killed Hector.
Right.
So I don't really get the reference, but whatever. Whatever. But let's stay with Achilles' heel.
Okay.
Because Achilles did have one problem, his heel. Yeah.
Because he got dipped.
Yes, he got dipped. And so you could kill him through his heel.
Right.
It was vulnerable.
Right.
Okay, so he's saying Portland is my Achilles heel. So far, so bad with the new I love Chauncey Billups.
Yeah.
You know Chauncey from Denver days.
I do.
And he's a good man,
He
and
is.
I think he's going to be a good coach, but they are not off to the races just yet. And Dame is shooting 23% from 3. And just as we talked about, the Celtics hit bottom. They hit bottom last night in Philly because Embiid didn't play. And
the
Tobias
Big Penguin did.
The Big Penguin played, but Tobias Harris did not play.
No.
And
you can't lose.
And obviously Ben Simmons is not playing.
Right.
So really? You lost to them? And in the fourth quarter, Dame made 3 of 6 shots, but he took 0 3-point shots because I think he doesn't trust himself from 3 anymore. And meanwhile, Seth made a 3 in the fourth quarter, and Korkmaz comes in and makes 2 big threes in the fourth quarter, and they hang on to win a game they had no business winning at home.
I agree.
And that's on Dame. You got to be. He was 2 of 9 from 3, and the rest of the stats look pretty decent, 20 and 10.
Right.
But still, 2 of 9 won't get it because you should win that game going away because they were basically just saying, here,
right,
we're going to hand you one.
Right. Dame. I mean, Skip, he's probably averaging 20 points a game. He needs to be 28. Last couple of years, he's been around 28 to 30.
Okay.
And the three-point shot, that's his bag.
Okay, so you know my opinion for years on the show about Dame.
Mm-hmm.
I consider him a star, but not a superstar. We talked earlier in the show about other, like Jayson Tatum.
Right.
He's a little better than Jayson Tatum, but they're in that star category, which is really good. But are you transcendent?
Right.
Can you change games? Can you change life around you? Well, he's, what do we call him, 6'3"?
Yeah.
So there's only so much you can do at 6 feet 3.
Yeah, but Skip, there's only been a handful of guards that's ever been championship driven and that won a championship. You got to go Isaiah.
Yep.
You got to go Steph Curry, and you got to go Big the God, Magic.
Well, he's 6'9".
Yeah, what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So guard. Now we've seen Allen Iverson take a team to a championship, but I don't know, Skip. It's a special, a small man.
Yeah.
Look, I get it. It's all about shooting. It's not so much about the traditional center. But Giannis is 7 foot. KD is 7 foot. LeBron is 6'9".
Okay, so I've often wondered about Dame, and I've wondered out loud on this show. When he had his chances to leave, when he could say no to Portland, I'm not going to recommit to you. There's a lot of pressure that goes into joining forces with other stars because there's a lot of pressure on you then. You could argue there's more pressure doing that than if you stay on your lonely hill in Portland because nobody really expects much of you in Portland. So what do you want to be? Who do you want to be?
That's what it comes down to.
He enjoyed that one night. Remember when it was the Game 6 night at Staples and he and LeBron went to the WNBA game down the street, across the street. And he enjoyed that because it was a lot of internet buzz about, oh, does that mean Dame wants to join LeBron?
Right.
Well, no, he doesn't. He wanted the attention of it, but obviously he wants to stay in Portland. Okay, so don't whine about it.
I think ideally he would want someone to come join him. In Portland, which is not going to happen.
Yeah, that's a
Giannis would have preferred a superstar come join him in Milwaukee as opposed to him leaving. That's not going to happen. So unless somebody's willing to trade, now they got Holiday.
And that was that put them over the top.
Yes,
because he defends at such a high level. It was the missing link.
And he can score. So he's a better defender than Bledsoe, and he can score better than Bledsoe. So now you got 3 options. Now you really got if you want to say a big 3, but that's what you have. Because Giannis is going to be Giannis. At the end of the day, Skip, the question is, Dame, if you're okay being remembered as a great player that didn't win a championship, and that's how you'll be referred to as, like a Charles Barkley, like a Karl Malone, a Patrick Ewing. If you're okay with that, I'm cool with that too. But just know that's how, and people are like, well, at least he didn't leave.
Okay, but if I'm his current teammate, I'm not cool with this.
KD said, I ain't cool with that. I'm leaving. I'm leaving.
No mercy. This week, catch a special Fox NFL Sunday pregame show live from the United States Naval Academy in Annapolis, Maryland at 11 a.m. Eastern. Then at 4, it's one of the biggest games of the year as Aaron Rodgers and the Packers take on Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. It all kicks off Sunday on Fox and the Fox Sports app. Well, Kansas City did improve to 4-4 with that victory last night, but obviously face a much bigger test against Green Bay this weekend. The Chiefs are tied with the Broncos for last place in the AFC West, which is a big shock after 8 games considering the sky-high expectations for this team. So, Shannon, you picked KC to win it all this year, but have you given up on your Super Bowl team?
I haven't given up on them just yet, but it's not looking good. Skip, I don't think Olton Sephora has enough makeup to cover up the blemishes that they have on this football team from an offensive standpoint, from a defensive standpoint. And I just think the thing is that Andy he just will not commit to the run. For whatever reason, he has some success running the football, but inevitably the tug, the allure of having Patrick Mahomes throw the ball is just too great, and it wins out. And the thing is, until they run the football and to force a team to drop that safety down, they're going to be a struggle because the teams are content to make you go 10, 12, 15 plays. Skip, I give up a home run to Tyreek or Tyreek and Hardman, Skip, now the band's playing. You know, now your PAT's coming on the field. But if I make you nickel and dime, I'm able to get a situation what I got last night in the end zone. Ball caroms, pops up in the air, boom, you went 13 plays, took 7 minutes off the clock, and guess what? You got nothing to show for it. Now it starts to creep in your mind. Here we go again. Damn, another turnover. When we said, Skip, we practiced, we talked all week how we were going to take care of the football. And now, Skip, it doesn't look good. Obviously, with Derrick Henry going down, anything can happen on a given day. But the inconsistency that I've seen on the offensive side of the football that can't cover the mistakes that they have on the defense side. Skip, they had 12, 13 penalties. They make some of the dumbest mistakes.
They do.
They do some of the dumbest things. And I'm like, you can't win championships like this. You cannot.
12 penalties for 103. And yet Kansas City ran 77 plays to only 56 for Daniel Jones and company, and that happened.
And you only won by 3.
That's what I'm saying. Daniel Jones, as we've talked about many times on this show, is just not that guy.
No.
He has arm talent. He actually has leg talent.
Yes.
He has no feel for playing the position of quarterback.
He has the one trait that you can't have to be a good quarterback, inconsistency.
That is correct. And lack of poise and feel for the moment. And last night, there's no Saquon. And ultimately, you're looking around saying, well, wait a second, there's no Galladay.
Right.
And then there was no Shepard, and there's no Dante Pettis.
Right.
And then the new little man, Tony, he's gone with some kind of wrist-hand injury, right?
Yep.
Well, and you barely won by 3 points, and you got some real breaks down the stretch because you got a face mask call on Kelsey that was completely phantom and bogus, and you were lucky that they were offsides on the late interception that you threw. And now, I'm going to say it again, your man, my homeboy, has become a parody of his no-look left-handed hype. He keeps trying to live up to it. I can do that because everybody thinks I can be that. I can be supernatural out here. Well, not in this league you can't because they have figured you out and they are starting to eat you alive because you keep trying harder and harder to outdo your hype self. Right? And that jump pass throw that he tried in the first series, it's crazy because it's a wild throw that gets, goes through Josh Gordon's hands, it hits McKinnon in the helmet and pops up in the air, and now your luck's starting to run dry on you, as it often does in this league. And you now lead the league with 10 interceptions, and you also lead the league with 3 in the red zone. Well, that's just horrendous.
Yeah, because you're taking points off the board at that point in time. And I think the thing is, Skip, they go down there, they're going to start feel really good about themselves if they go down to open and drive and get the ball in the end zone, considering they scored 0 touchdowns last week against the Tennessee Titans.
So I think Shannon Sharpe is making the case he's about done with his Chiefs pick.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not feeling good about it, Skip. I don't feel good about it.
Now we have a problem for Shannon Sharpe because here comes transcendent versus transcendent. We've got Aaron Rodgers, your first favorite quarterback, against your 1A quarterback, my homeboy, right?
Yeah, I think it's going to be fireworks.
In Kansas City.
I think it's going to be fireworks.
Fireworks, and yet, wait a second, the slight favorite is the road team. Wait a second.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers is slightly favored over Patrick Mahomes.
Have you watched him the last 7 games?
Thank you. That's why it sounds like you're about done with your pick. Right? And you could be thoroughly done with your pick after Sunday because it might be time for Aaron to go to Kansas City and throw a party on that Chiefs defense or what is left of it. Because last time I checked, Sorensen still starts for the Chiefs.
There you go. Why you got to bring him into it?
Because he's your favorite safety in football, right?
And he's wearing glasses now.
Well, and Devontae's been on the COVID list, but I'm pretty sure he's eligible to come off
Thursday. Because I know they activated Lazard off the COVID list.
They did.
Yeah.
Okay.
But guess what? And you see, they just traded for Melvin Ingram.
Okay. So,
pass rush.
Is that it?
I mean, that's all they got.
Okay.
What else you want them to trade for?
Yep.
Maybe a safety.
Game over?
Stop it. You know they still have issues. You have to be able to run the football. They're playing those deep safeties.
When has Andy Reid ever run the football? And when has Patrick Mahomes ever said, okay, I'll take the check down? They're there every time.
Yes.
He can flip it to his back every time he wants and get 7 yards, and it just doesn't make him happy.
But even though, Skip, even this year, even before the spell of the turnovers, he was missing some throws that he would normally make. I see in the Buffalo game, he had Kelsey wide open down the rail for a wide open throw, and he overshoots him. He had missed some throws early in the season. They was like, that's not Patrick. I mean, I've seen him make those throws in his sleep. He still can make the unexpected throw look so routine. I mean, if you didn't know better, the way he threw that ball, that's not an easy throw, Skip. To time it up where you're rolling to your left, to throw it sidearm like that, a back across your body, in between defenders, and then hit Tyreek right between the 1 and the 0. That's not an easy throw.
And where did it get him? Not very far,
but
right?
You'll see.
No mercy.
Though news broke that Derrick Henry would be sidelined indefinitely with a foot injury. So the Titans went out and signed 36-year-old Adrian Peterson to the practice squad to eventually fill in for the league's leading rusher. Peterson played with the Lions last season, but hasn't been on a roster at all this season. So, Shannon, how much will Peterson help?
I think he's better than what they have on the football team, Skip, but I don't think he's not Derrick Henry, nor do they expect him to be, Skip. Last season, he had 604 yards rushing in 16 games. Hadn't had a 100-yard game in the last 23. So I think he's serviceable with Skip. And he might get off to a great start because he has these fresh legs.
He does.
But as the season grinds, you'll realize that he's, 35, 36 years of age.
He is 36 years of age, but I think this was a good idea because he's about as close to Derrick in style that you could find. We all know he's a workout warrior. And when I look at what he did for Detroit last year when he started 10 games, he had some pretty good. He had 93 yards, 75 yards. The final game of the year, he had 63 on 7 carries. I think he can give them a little bit of pop at 36, not Derrick Henry pop.
Right.
I have so many memories of AP. Wow.
Yeah.
AP all day. That's what I keep thinking about. Skip, Shannon, great stuff today. We're back same time tomorrow. Call and enjoy our Next with the Herd. Have a great day.
Free OBJ.